everyone! I hope everyone is having a good morning. Welcome on in. Solemn, thank you so much for the hack and 4 months. It's very hecking kind of you. Also, good morning. I hope you're doing well. And Clues, good morning. And George, good morning. I hope everyone is doing good. Welcome on in. Welcome to, let me switch screens actually before I say it. Oh, welcome on in to our first stream pushing for partner. I am very anxious. I don't know why I'm so nervous, because I've already unlocked it. I don't need those nerves. Regardless of what happens at the end of this, I will apply for partner because it's already unlocked and I already have the option, but I'm still anxious. Ah, dear. To be fair, I think I also have a bit of that. I don't know if there is a specific name for this, but when you're about to start a really big project and you feel a little overwhelmed by the amount of work. I mean, I very much enjoy big projects, but there's always, before you start it, it's always that like, oh, I have that today. But once we've started it, I think I'll feel a lot better. Oh dear. Clues, good morning. John, good morning. Lovely to see you. It's lovely to see you too. I hope you're doing well. We're doing an extra stream today because on Monday I had all of the OBS crashes, so I couldn't really stream as long as I wanted to. We don't normally stream Wednesdays, but one, it is the first day of Partner Push, so I feel like it makes sense. But then also two, it is, you know, I didn't get to stream really on Monday because my OBS was like, we're out, we're not gonna work. Oh dear. Jupiter, good morning on YouTube. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Do you got this? It's gonna get it faster than you think. Oh, bless you. Well, fingers crossed. But again, there's a few things I still need to double check. Oh, there was one thing I haven't done yet, which I do need to do, which is I need to make a PP command for just anyone who is a bit newer to what a partner push is, because I will go over it a little bit today, but I don't want to go over it every single stream, so I need to make a command for that in the future. Other than that though, I think we're good. I think we've got everything ready. I mean, again, in our position, we are kind of lucky. We've already unlocked it. We just need to get the numbers up. So fingers crossed. Cthulhu, by the way, good morning. I hope you're doing well. And Maggie, good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. We are actually alone in the house today, which is very unusual. Very, very unusual. Normally, Shiny's always around while I'm streaming. But today, Shiny's had to be called in. So we're alone, which means there'll be no mystery breaks for lunch. I'll have to go make lunch myself, which is honestly fair. That's what I used to do anyway. But yeah, no, it's weird. I woke up and there was no one here. It's like, oh, they've gone. Goodbye. It's just me. Oh dear. To be fair, I will say not having someone else to talk to meant that I was very organised this morning, at least comparatively to normal. I was like straight doing bing bong, everything that I needed to do. Right, today, I will quickly introduce what we're doing today for the stream. We're not going to get to it for a minute because I have a few other things to go over, but what we will be doing today is we're going to be getting some base stuff ready so that we can start embroidering. This is an animation that will be made entirely out of embroidery thread. It's the second time we've done it, but this time we have a few more decisions to make, and we can also talk about it as, you know, all of us together. Whereas with the other one, I kind of had to be like, we're doing this now, because we didn't have time to redo things. You know, people were offering good ideas, but I couldn't take them. The other thing is, there is a lot of eccentricities to do with animating with embroidery thread. So there will be times where people have really good ideas and I will probably shoot them down. And I don't mean it in a rude way, but like, you're gonna have to trust me a little bit as someone who's very used to the medium, that there are some things embroidery thread can't do well, and that it requires extra steps to do well. And we'll weigh up whether or not it's worth it in certain cases to do all of those extra steps. This is the conversations that I've had with other people before, like Vile, for instance, someone who has a background in animation. And yeah, it's a weird one because unless you've worked with it, it can make it very complicated as to why you're like, why doesn't that work? And it's like, ugh, weird material things. It's hard to say. But yeah, we'll go over all that and I'll do my best to explain why we make certain decisions, and if I don't explain, ask me and I will try and explain, because I don't want to put anyone off trying this. I think it's really, really fun. But yes, it is pretty labor intensive, I suppose, but it is fun. Also, Lenny, good morning. How goes it? I hope you're doing well. Welcome on in to our first stream partner pushing. Also unpredictable, bless you. If you need to go get some sleep, you can go get some sleep, but thank you so much for popping in. We're pushing for partner, but specifically, again, I'm gonna bring this up because I want people to be super aware of where we're starting here, because we're in a really good position. And oh no, Emma, don't add a GIF. I could add a GIF, but it's not a GIF. It's just a regular image, please, Jelly. Just one regular image for me. Where is it? Where did I save it? Here it is. This is the thing I need to show you. I've already unlocked partner. It's already unlocked. So we don't need to unlock partner. It's not necessary. We've already unlocked it. What we need to do is just try and get our average viewership as close to 75 as possible, which normally you'd need it over 75 to get it unlocked, but we've already got it unlocked. So we just need to get it as close as possible. So every extra lurk really, really helps. If you can have me muted in the background, I really appreciate it. Everything like that helps a huge amount. So massive, massive thank you to everyone who has helped me get to a point where it is unlocked. I really appreciate that, and yeah, for anyone who does want to support, just lurking, even if you're muted in the background, everything like that, it all counts, and I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, so that hopefully it explains where we're at. Today's Wednesday, but Jelly's streaming. Yeah, it's because Sleeves, on Monday we had like loads of OBS crashes, so I couldn't stream for very long. So most of Monday I wasn't streaming because OBS was like, So we rescheduled to today and just was like, well, we'll just do an extra stream on Wednesday then, because Monday didn't, at least in my brain, Monday didn't really count. I was only live for like 2 hours, so I wanted to be live for like 6. The lurkity lurks through chat. Thank you for the lurky lurks. I appreciate it. Also, John, welcome on in. Welcome, chat. Welcome in, John flexes lurk muscles. Thank you so much for the lurk. Maybe we'll change the lurk command so that it thanks you for your support instead. Because genuinely, to everyone who's going to be lurking the next couple months, I really do appreciate it. It probably will be several months. I have planned to basically be pushing for partner now for about 3 or 4 months. I won't be pushing through Boobtober because Boobtober is such a busy month for me where I'm doing so much stuff off stream. I don't want that pressure of me doing stream as well. So the current plan is we'll be partner pushing until September. In September, we will apply for partners, see if we get it or not. And if we do, amazing. And if we don't, that's fine. We have every opportunity to try again in the future, but that's the current goal. That's currently what we're planning to do. Different mediums have different benefits and strategies. Exactly. There's a lot of benefits as well to embroidery, which we'll also go over. There's a reason I've been doing it and that I'm excited to do it again. There are a lot of benefits that embroidery thread that has that other things don't naturally have. So yes, we definitely lean into the benefits of it. Also, Sean, good morning. How are you doing already? I'm very nervous. I'm mainly nervous because I don't want people to feel let down if we don't get it. So I guess I'll keep mentioning, if we apply after this and we don't get it, I don't want anyone to feel bad. I don't want anyone to feel worried or sad. It's fine. We have it unlocked. We can apply anytime. I could literally go and apply right now. So if we don't get it this time, it's okay. We'll partner push again in the future. We'll try again. And however long it takes at this point, it doesn't matter because it is unlocked and we can try anytime. So fear not. We'll do our best to get it, but if we don't, I don't want anyone to feel bad or guilty or anything like that. It's not what we don't need that. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. Dear. Also, I hope you're doing well, Sean, I should say. I hope you're having a lovely day. And Sleeves, welcome in on YouTube. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. I think a lot of people get turned down first time. I wonder if all those criteria is having the persistence to try again. So I've already been turned down once, John, because I am not a restrained person. And when I initially unlocked Path to Partner, I immediately applied. Of course I did. I'm a human being. And I saw that I had unlocked Path to Partner. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to apply for Partner. Go on then. So I've already been turned down once, and basically when I got turned down, you get like an email explaining why you've been turned down. So you do have stuff you can work on. Basically, for instance, if you got turned down because you had a high bot presence, they'll tell you you've been turned down for that reason. In my reason, it was my consistency. While I did have a lot of high numbers, they weren't consistent. They were very up and down. It wasn't actually from raid views in my case. It was just very up and down viewership in general, which is true. You know, I stream mornings, which means a lot of the time people are at work, which means it's not a good time for a lot of people. So yeah, mine was not actually bots, nor was it raid viewership. It was just that it's too up and down generally. So that's why our main goal when we're looking at it is, even if we don't hit 75, we're just looking for consistency. And that's what I'll be aiming for as well. The one thing that might get in the way is our internet connection, but we'll be doing our best. Because if I can stream for like around 5-6 hours a day, I feel like that's my goal for doing this partner push. If I can do it go longer, especially before, like, I'd say normally it'd be Tuesdays and Fridays I might be able to go longer because I have the day off the next day normally. If I can, amazing, but we're aiming 5-6 hours a stream, which is kind of what we've been doing for the last few months anyway. I've been prepping. I knew that I was probably going to have to do this at some point. So I've been prepping to make sure that I am physically able to do those kind of longer hours, and I am. About 6 hours would be a good place to stop if I'm planning to stream the next day. But you've seen this. You've seen this with all the goblin stuff we've been doing. When we hit 6 hours, I'm like, I should probably stop now so that we can stream again the next day. It'll be exactly the same as that. So not too much is changing. Dear, it's all fine. Hell yeah, it's all fine. We'll be fine. I'm doing good, Jelly. Trying to get some studies. They're all lovely. Good luck with your studies. You have a new button to push. Of course you pushed it. Of course. A button popped up. I pushed it immediately. Also, Gina, good morning. Welcome on in. I will say I did apply for partner very quietly the first time I applied because I kind of knew I wasn't going to get it. So I was like, I don't want to get people's hopes up and be like, oh yeah, guys, I'm applying for partner. So I didn't even tell people that I'd unlocked the path to partner when I'd unlocked it. It was under very unusual circumstances, I will say. You know what? Should I just explain why I have partner unlocked? Because it is unusual for a channel of my size to have all of this unlocked, right? It is weird. I've not been hiding viewers somewhere or anything. So the reason that my path to partner is unlocked, which does not normally, it's normally a very hard thing to get, is because Twitch put me on the front of carousel on the front page of Twitch for an average of 7,000 viewers once. And that average viewership of 7,000 people at once for an entire stream, it boosted my entire streaming, it boosted my entire, at that point, 2 years or something of streaming, up to over 100 viewers average per stream. Which meant I immediately unlocked part to partner. But obviously that was one very, very big stream and a lot of not so big streams. And so Twitch was like, it's kind of uneven. You have some streams hitting over 75, but you don't have all your streams hitting over 75. So you need to get more consistency. But yeah, wow, 7K, yeah. It's always a weird one because so there are certain times where you put in statistics, like when you're applying for certain things, like sponsorships for Booptober and stuff like that, which is the main reason we're aiming for partner at this point. You know, they'll ask you certain things like what's your highest average viewership, and if I'm being 100% honest, my highest average viewership is 7,000 and something. But then they think I'm lying. I'm not lying. My highest average viewership was like average of 7,200, I believe. But they're like, no, this streamer's lying. I was like, I'm not lying. It's true. But if I'm being honest, that is what my highest viewership is. It's a very tricky one, right? Because it is very out there. It's a math statistic thing. It is. And Arty, thank you so much for the luck. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, no, it's a really weird one where someone of my size normally wouldn't have had this unlocked and definitely wouldn't be averaging that on any stream. But because they put me front of carousel, for those who aren't aware, when you log into Twitch for the first time and you see like something playing at the front, you're automatically counted as a viewer because technically it's playing on your PC. And that is front of carousel, which means front of carousel tends to have dramatically more viewership than anyone else on the front page. It's a very, very intense spot. It's very cool though, very cool. You get to meet a lot of people, but you're basically on front page of Twitch, and we were actually on front page of Twitch. I can understand why they'd have a hard time believing you. Yeah, like it's not a lie. It is true. I hate the question, what's your highest viewership? Because it's like, it's kind of tricky. I wish you hadn't asked because while I do have a very impressive number, it's not my normal. If you give me a chance to explain it that I was on the front page of Twitch, then it's like, it's much easier. But if you just ask for the number. Oh, I didn't realize front of carousel counts as views. The last couple of times I've logged in, there's been a guy sleeping. Yeah, so you've counted as you're watching that person. So yes, unless you switch off the carousel, you are watching them. And that's where we were. So yeah, we have had it unlocked for a couple years. After Booptober last year, basically Booptober last year was the biggest Booptober we ever did, and we're incredibly proud of everyone who took part in Booptober last year. All the fundraisers did amazing, the staff were really good, everything was really good last year, and we raised over $15,000 for charity, so it was a really, really successful event where we got loads of people talking about breast cancer. It was really, really nice, but there was one thing that kept nagging at us, and me especially, was we were applying for things, we were trying to get things, we were trying to get like sponsorships, we were trying to get things for support, reaching out to people, and people were interested because we're organized. We're like set. Boobtober is something we run every year, so we're pretty good with it. We look pretty professional online. We're doing things pretty well. And then they'd find out that there were no partners on the team, and then they'd back out. So we'd have people who were like, oh yeah, I'd love to sponsor the event, and then they'd back out when they realized there was no partners on the team. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because I know we have an amazing event with Boobtober. I know that we are very professional, that we're really, like, behind the scenes, we're working really, really hard to get as much as possible for that event. And it's really frustrating when, because there are no partners, that we're not taken seriously. So after Boobtober last year, it was one of the things I said, before Boobtober next year, we're going to do a partner push. We'll just give it a go. And the main reason is that, unfortunately, you know, I don't want to say who, I'm going to be really subtle here, but I had reached out to people that had reached out to me before, asking to be sponsored and stuff like that, and said, hey, you know, you asked to sponsor me and I had to turn you down that time, or, you know, I had to change something up this time, but we are now doing this charity event, would you consider sponsoring it? And they're like, oh yeah, let's have a little look and, you know, fill this form in. And then I'd fill it in and say that I wasn't a partner, and they'd be like, oh, actually no. And it's like, but you reached out to me. But then you've turned me down because I'm not a partner. And last year, yeah, we ended up having so many things fall through that I basically ended up sponsoring the event. And I will do that again. But I'd rather it if we had more people supporting us. And again, it's all from we're just trying to support breast cancer awareness fundraising on Twitch. We're just trying to do a really big event for that. And it'd be really, really nice if we had that bit of extra support. But unfortunately, without a partner on the team, we're just not taken seriously. And it's also a thing for new people coming in. It would be, oh, CJ, thank you for the DJ. Very kind. But yeah, no, there's also be a thing for like new streamers coming into Boobtober, people that don't know me as well. Because a lot of people who started joining us with Boobtober 3 years ago, they joined because of me. They joined through me or through this community and stuff like that, which I do really, really appreciate. But it'd be really nice if we could reach people from new communities. And I think having a partner on the team would just make the entire event look more trustworthy. Once there's a partner on the team, there is someone verified by Twitch on the team, and it just means people are more likely to trust the event if they don't know one of the team members personally, you know? And that would be really, really nice for expanding in the future and making people feel like it's an event they can trust. So that's basically why we're aiming for partner. It is specifically Boobtober, but Boobtober is the thing that I'm most proud of on Twitch that we've done, really. Except for maybe like if you count like the opportunities it's given me off Twitch when it comes to like speaking in Parliament and getting on the news and stuff like that. Except for stuff like that, the thing that I'm most proud of is Boobtober, and it's the thing that I want to support the most. So yeah, any extra lurks, any extra support goes really, really long way. Again, we've already unlocked it, so we're just trying to get our average viewership up. And I do genuinely believe when we apply for partner again, we have a really good CV. Again, I don't think many Twitch streamers are talking about Twitch in Parliament, and I am. I don't think many people have Twitch streamers who are on their, like, not their local news, their national news, and I am. It's like, I am doing everything I can for charity pretty much 100% of the time, and I have plenty of evidence to back that up. And yeah, I think I have a pretty good CV, and I think Twitch should be lucky to have us as a partner, honestly. So we just need to prove it to them and get the numbers up a little bit. Oh dear. Also, Tails, thank you for the lurk. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Have a lovely day. Thank you, thank you. You wanted to wait before the giving. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it, actually, Maggie. I want Boobtober to grow beyond just my community, or just the community of the team members as well, because I know Unpredictable and Vile and Bateman and Dem do all invite their, you know, a lot of people too. But I want it to grow beyond that. I want it to be something people know about and can join, because breast cancer affects so many. And I feel like, again, just having that extra trust in the event would go a really, really long way for a lot of people. So yes, that is what we are going for. And I have fingers crossed. Again, I think if we can talk to them, we have a pretty good CV for it, but it's just going to be getting those numbers up. And again, I really, really appreciate any lurks. I might change the lurk command just so that it thanks people for their support, because it is support. We were talking about yesterday, like people who didn't like having lurkers in their stream, and I was like, come to my stream. If you don't like having lurkers in your stream, you can send them my way, because we love lurkers here. We really appreciate it. But yeah, so that's where we're at with that. Thank you again for everyone who's got me to this point, I should say, because we're in a very lucky position now going towards partner. But yes, that is that. Now, And if you get a partner, you also come in direct contact with Twitch too for Boobtober. Yeah, which would be really, really, really good. I don't want to say exactly what kind of benefits that gives you because I don't want to promise things I'm not sure of. But I have an idea of some of the benefits that being actual partner when you're doing charity stuff on Twitch gives you. And if we can get that, that would be amazing. But again, I'm not going to say exactly what those are because I would like to actually verify that before getting people's hopes up. But I've seen it through other charities and it's a really, really good stuff. So yes, working for a good cause, you'll succeed. I'm fingers crossed. I've seen a few streamers say they don't like lurkers. It is weird. It's really weird. We were talking about that yesterday. Like, why? How are you going to get partner without lurkers? I mean, I guess if you're having hundreds of viewers average, maybe thousands, but I think most people lurk. Even in big streams. But yes, so that's why we're doing it. Fingers crossed. We'll give it our best shot. If we don't get it, it's okay. And I don't want anyone to feel guilty or bad, but we're gonna try. We're gonna give it a shot. Yeah, I understand. Don't they change what partners get now? So they have a lot more partners now. Yeah. I think though it's been a very up and down, right? They have more partners, but they also have less partners. I think the difficulty is I was actually talking to someone behind the scenes, and I won't say what I was doing because obviously that was a private thing in DMs. But I was helping someone out behind the scenes, and we were having like a little chat about like how much partners earn, how much you assume a partner earns, and how much they actually earn and stuff like that. And I'm quite lucky in that I do have a few mates that are partners, and I've we've had conversations about stuff like that before, and they're like, oh yeah, no, I don't even earn like a part-time wage off Twitch. I have 2 jobs. And it's like, yeah, it seems like most partners, you have to be passionate about streaming to keep streaming, because unless you're pulling a certain amount of viewers, you're not even earning a minimum wage off streaming. Or you use streaming to support other avenues of your life. Like if you're an artist, and I'll use webcomic as an idea because that's something we've been doing. Let's say if you're doing a webcomic and you're selling physical prints of it, and then you're also showing it online and stuff like that. So it can help support other areas of your life, but it's not going to be the main income for most people, unless you're hitting like many hundred viewers. It seems like it's very difficult to create a career of choice, and it's not like easy work necessarily either. Like, I don't know how many of you have tried drawing with like many people's eyes on you. I can only really speak for arts and crafts, but yeah, I think it's harder than you think. Again, luckily that's not really a factor for us. We are trying to get partners specifically for the verification side of things, for charity stuff, specifically Boobtober. We are trying to get that for that. So the money side of things is not really a factor, thankfully, because if it is, that is a really stressful bit to consider. But yes, for us it's mainly, we just want that verification. We want a verification so that when we apply for sponsorships for Boobtober and support for Boobtober and extra visibility for Boobtober, that we get it. That's the hope. That's the hope. Dear. And they change what partners get. Like, yeah, it's the 1% of partners that have the partner imagine payout. Yeah, it's a very small percent. Oh dear. Also, Jungle, good morning. Welcome on in. Hope your week's been good. It's been good. It's been good. We've actually finished our comic, Jungle, so you can actually now read that in officially Madless. It's only very short, to be fair, but it helps catch you up on what we're about to be animating. Speaking of, we are going to be animating. Well, we're not going to be animating today, I should say, but we're going to be planning some animation stuff today. Today is specifically a day where we're going to be doing a lot of behind the scenes things, which is stuff that I don't normally get to talk about. So if you have any questions and stuff like that, but today's a really good day for that. Oh my god. Sorry. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to cough harder then. It's like, it's all good. Are we good? Are we okay, lungs? We've been on a camp for 3 days, tired but happy. Hell yeah, I'm glad. Oh dear. We've drawn a goblin comic. We have now got an animation to make with those same goblins. And today, yeah, it's been behind the scenes stuff. I will say my screen right now is very unimpressive. I can show you it while we're starting. It doesn't look very good though, because there's nothing on it. We are very much starting with just plans. I have got my plans. Where are they? Where's my other sketchbook? Is it this one? I have a couple of sketchbooks around. I think it's this one, which I have basically written out step-by-step instructions of what I want to have happen in this animation. I've also started doing some actual references. Not that you can really see it because I'm on the tiny screen now, but I have actually been doing some references for characters because I probably should get those at some point. So I've been trying to do stuff like that. But yes, we are starting here today. Here. This is where we go from. Also, thank you for the lurk, George. I appreciate it. And thank you for the lurk on both. Thank you for both. I appreciate it, George. Thank you, thank you. Screen is showing a curvature of the Earth. That is, yes, the curvature of the Earth. We're here just to dissuade flat earthers, honestly. The only thing I want to do is dissuade the flat earthers. But no, we have plans. I will probably read this out to you just so you get an idea of the order of animation. This stream is going to spoil a lot of what we're going to be doing, so I guess if that's a problem for you, maybe stay lurking. But I don't think it's going to be a big problem. This animation is going to be a maximum of 1 minute long. It's very, very short. Because we're going to be embroidering each frame, there can't be that much happening. So basically, I have here the order of animation. We're going to do some splitting things up, and we're going to be drawing some of the scenes that I'd like to embroider. That's the kind of our goals today, is to get some of that out. That way in the future we can make a decision when we want to do embroidery that day, if we want to do more planning that day. Because we'll have to probably be doing a mixture of both throughout the next few streams. So yes, first of all, order of animation. This is an animation that will be detailing the resurrection of Waffles the Goblin, or I guess King Waffles the Goblin. They'll be resurrecting him, and it will be showing him being lowered into the grave, having a passage of time being shown, like through the trees changing color and stuff like that, and then having on a darker day a figure walking up to the grave, performing some kind of magic, resurrecting Waffles from the grave, and then as Waffles goes to grab the person who resurrected him, the arms will fall off and the little figure will gather up some flowers and whack him in his head. That's it. That's it. That's the whole animation. It's very, very short, because anything more than that will become quite difficult, because even, I mean, I know we do have some like proper professional animators in this community, but yeah, anything longer than that would be we got 2 months basically to do this, so that's going to be outside of 2 months. If we were just drawing it, we'd probably actually manage that in much quicker time, but because we're embroidering every frame, it takes a little while. And when it comes to embroidery, for a reference of what we were finding back in November when we last did this kind of project, I could embroider 4 frames a day at most. So you have to kind of think of, well, if there's 16 frames in this one GIF, that will take 4 days, and that's at a you know, peak speed. It might actually take 5 days if we're going a bit slower. So yes, that's all kind of important. So yes, we have to keep that in mind, that we have 2 months as a deadline, and that I can maximum 4 frames a day. Although what I can do is, let me actually get the GIF of this up, because this is going to be kind of important and I do want you to see this. We have done some little tests before. A lot of the tests came from Chromacore last year, where I can show you kind of, if I get open it, if I go into Glam, and I would like the building one, and I would like the GIF. This one? Okay, you see this? So this was done within a day. So there are tricks you can do for, like, especially if overgrowth is a part of the theming, which in this case it is. There are things you can do to add on to pieces which can make it look like, again, like time is passing and things are growing. That took me less than a day to complete, and that is, I believe, 21 different images. So at that point, it's like I can do 21 frames in a day because of the method we're using. So if they're separate, if it's frame by frame animation, they're all separate drawings, then 4 a day is my max. But if we're doing stuff like this, where we're altering things, I can do far more. So yes, I hope this kind of gives an idea of some of the stuff we do, and like how we've practiced this before. We do have a full animation. I can also show if we need to, but yeah, I think that this is, yeah, again, you can also, even in this one, because it's like, you can see the shuddery motion of it, right? It's very stop motion-y. The way that this kind of animation looks is very stop motion-y. And personally, I like that. It might not be to everyone's cup of tea. Things that are going to be different in this project compared to projects in the past, we're not going to be working inside of an embroidery hoop. We are going to be filling, you can see this is a big square screen. We are going to be filling, hopefully, the whole screen, because I want to upload it to YouTube. So I want it to fit a YouTube screen. The only thing I might do, potentially, is cut off the sides a little bit. Yeah, that's one thought. I don't know if I want it to go to the whole other side. Are we going for voice acting? There's no talking in this. So no, we're not having any voice acting. There's no speaking in it. It is fully just a resurrection scene. It'll be music, which I will be composing off stream. For those who don't know, I am a grade 8 classical guitarist, and I have my particular area of study was actually composition. It's not something I use very much. But I used to be a concert guitarist. I used to play. I also used to teach music. That is on my CV. I was a teacher. So yeah, I have a pretty established background in music. I just don't use it ever on stream. Off stream I do for funs, but it's not something that I often bring onto stream. So I'll be composing the piece off stream. If I feel up to it, I'll play it for you on stream. But to be honest, this room just really isn't set up for having a guitar, because if I hold a guitar in my lap where I'm sat now, my guitar will start hitting the wall. It's a very, very small room. It only goes to about an arm's width this way, so I can touch the wall. And yeah, it's not great for instruments. Nor is it that good for recording, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We can manage. So there'll be music, but there'll be no voice acting. Yeah. I don't think I don't want to give them voices. I kind of want the voices to be in your head. They can sound like whatever you like. I need lessons from Jelly. Now I'm psyched for the whole project. I have a very interesting, unusual set of skills, very specific, but they're useful for this. Useful for this one project. But yes, I don't know that I might actually end up cutting the screen just a little shorter and having some distortion at the sides. So there are reasons for that, to be honest. But that's my thought. It's more of a stylistic thing. Before, when we've done animations, we've always kept them in the embroidery hoop to make it really obvious that they're embroidered. But at this point, I think people know that I'm making them legitimately. And even last time when I made it in the embroidery hoop and I had it filmed in there and such like that, even then people questioned whether it was AI. So I don't think there's any reason at this point to force myself to have to stay in a hoop all the time. I don't want to. So yes, we will be expanding out a little bit and not using an embroidery hoop for the majority of this. We'll be using a hoop obviously to embroider it because you have to, that's part of the equipment, but when you see the pictures of it, there will be separate pieces and you will not see any hoops. That's one bit. I've made that decision myself. I will say, throughout this project, I am willing to listen to feedback and ideas and stuff like that, but if I say that's something that I want to do, I don't want people being like, that's a bad idea, Jelly. I mean, I guess you can say it's a bad idea, Jelly, but I'm just going to time you out. There are certain things that I am putting my foot down on. I want this, and I want this. It's a passion project, so the passion has to come from me. While I am interested in people's inputs and ideas, if I say I want something, I'm afraid you're just going to have to live with it. I have to live with it, you have to live with it. But yes, let me get the running order so you can get an idea of like where we're going with this, and then we'll start drawing for today because I already know what we're going to start with, and it's kind of important. Excuse me. And people assuming you're using AI, they'll think it either way. Yeah, that's kind of the problem, isn't it, Maggie? It's like, I try to make it really obvious with the Iron Mouse one. Like I'll mute it, but I'll show you it. I tried to make it really, really obvious that I was using like actual embroidery thread. Like I think at least in, like I've got the embroidery threads on the side, I've got the hoop there, I've got like scissors. Like I try to make it really, really clear, and not only the fact that I think it's pretty obvious embroidery is used as a medium here, but that it's like it is embroidery. But I still got a lot of queries about whether this was AI. I will say no one was like actively mean or anything about it. Just a lot of people asking like, hey, is this AI? Is this AI generated? And I was like, I understand why people have to ask, but I did a lot of things here to try and avoid it being considered AI, especially the bit right at the end. And yeah, no, it didn't help. People still thought it was AI, and that's fair. Again, I think you do have to be careful these days because there is so much AI stuff out there. But yeah, look, this animation was made entirely out of hand embroidery. I literally wrote it there, and then here are all of the hand embroideries. Like, no, it is not AI, and I still had people asking if it was AI. So I feel like at that point, it's like I did everything I physically could to make it really obvious that it wasn't AI, and people are still like, but is it AI? And it's like, okay, if that's the case, that's fine. I'll just do whatever I want, and if people are going to question it regardless, and that's, if anything, that's just freedom. That's just freedom, that is. Freedom to do whatever I want. It's brilliant, thank you. More curiosity. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, no one was being mean. It was just like, you know, is it AI? Is this AI? Do you mind if I ask? Is this AI? This looks like AI. Could it be AI? Kind of thing. It's like, no, it's not. Too good with Iron Mouse, I maybe couldn't wrap my head around it. It's actually not that, but I do appreciate it. I wish it was that. It's not that. It's the jittery effect. It's the jittery effect you get on AI animation that you also get on stop motion. So the reason people are asking if it's AI, did you see that? Like that there? You see that jitteriness between it? It's because I'm taking pictures, and it's because it's stop motion effectively. But that jitteriness is what makes people think that it's AI. And that's exactly the reason why I'm like, well, screw it then. Because stop motion is always going to have that jitteriness because there's that human touch on it. And that means if it's the jitteriness, which is what it sounds like, is the reason people think that it's AI, then they're always going to think it's AI. They're never going to think that it's anything else, which is fine. So yeah, no, it's the jitteriness of it. That's what. It's not because it's particularly good. Not that I'm not proud of it, but that's not the reason. It's how it looks. It's stop motion. And I think as well, a lot of people don't watch a lot of stop motion, to be honest. It's not a particularly popular form of media. It takes a really long time. So while you do have the odd film or animation come out that is stop motion, I want to say the vast majority of animation is not stop motion, which means a lot of people, especially younger people, are not familiar with it. They're not familiar with the style and eccentricities of it because they don't see it that often. And the only stop motion they do see is like Disney incredibly high value stop motion, where it's like stop motion where it's absolutely perfect and they have a whole team working on it, and you don't get that same effect because it is so perfect, right? You don't see people doing stop motion at a lower level very often anymore. Whereas I grew up with stuff like Ray Harryhausen, not that was a low level, but like, again, where things were a smaller team and there were imperfections and there was that jitteriness. So I'm used to seeing it. To me, it doesn't seem that unusual, but to the younger people especially, it can do. So again, no one was being mean to me, no one was bullying me or being rude, but like a lot of people were asking, and it's like, if I've given all of this hint and you still think it's AI, then there's nothing I can do. I mean, the fortunate thing is if anyone tries to be like, it's definitely AI, I can be like, well, here's a link to all of the VODs of me making the thing. But sure, you know? The stop motion and claymation. Yeah, I love it too. I grew up with it and I love it. Also, Matrix, good morning. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I love stop motion. I grew up with it. It's like that I really, really like. But yes, I understand that it does look a little different to regular animation, and I also don't blame people for being suspicious. I don't want us to come across as like I'm feeling very vindictive. Online these days, with AI being so prevalent, asking is getting more and more normal, and I'm not offended by the fact that people asked that it was AI and checked with me and stuff like that. Again, I think as long as you're not hard accusing people with no evidence, it's fine. Just ask if you're worried, and I expect when I finish this, if anyone outside of the community sees it, there'll probably be more questions about that. And if I see people saying like, is it AI? I can say no, but thank you for checking. Well done for checking. No, it's not AI. I actually had to sit here and embroider every frame. But I enjoy that. All right, I've been saying that I want to go over the running order. I am going to go over the running order now, and then I'll tell you what we're doing today specifically. So the order of animation. First of all, crowd gathers around grave, coffin lowered into grave, and then the shovel lowers into the dirt. We do have a bit of a shot here where the shovel picks up the dirt, the camera will follow the dirt thrown into the air, the dirt lands on the covered grave, and the crowd is gone. Then it's a time lapse, which I mentioned before. We have ideas of how time lapses can look in embroidery anyway, and it does speed it up quite a bit. Stuff like that. Time lapse of the grave overgrowing. Grave will get grass growing over the top of it. We'll have the flowers and reeds grow around the grave. In this case, it's feverfew specifically. Then we have the leaves will change colour on the trees, the seasons will change. Leaves fall off the trees, go back on it, go back off, go back on. We'll have to do that whole cycle once, and then we can repeat it and speed it up, basically. So we have to do it one time, but we only have to do it one time, so it's okay. And then a figure, after many, many times of having that cycle go, a figure will approach the grave, clouds will gather and lightning strikes, and a hand shoots out the grave. So this is now all of the bit where we talked about before, which I can actually get up, I believe, if I... Did I open it yesterday? This one? Yeah, this is the base for this bit. Might just be easier to show you it than to try and explain how the camera angle's working on this one. But yeah, basically, hand-eye view for the crawling out of the grave. There it goes. So we have hand shoots out of the grave, hand comes down and crawls sideways to camera, hand reaches towards figure. Then at that point we have a flashback of a hand patting a head. And so like basically like from the perspective of the hand patting someone's head, that's going to be a few still frames, so they're going to be really easy, just more detailed embroideries. Probably take a couple days to get those, but they'll only be done once, so they'll be nice and easy. And then those pictures will fade and you'll actually see the face of Charlotte, which again will be another still frame. Camera shows both figures as basically Waffles is patting Charlotte's head, and then Waffles' arms fall off. Charlotte picks some flowers from around the grave and puts them inside Waffles' head. They smile at each other, and that's the end. That's it. That's the whole thing. So it's a very small character interaction. I don't want to start too big. You know, I watch animations online like The Amazing Digital Circus and like stuff like that, and I think they're amazing, but I think realistically I would need a whole team to approach something of that size, and I don't have that, and I'm kind of okay with that. You know, I'm kind of okay with what we're doing as it is, but I'm trying to stay realistic with stuff that we can, also I think I froze it, stuff that I could realistically do. In this day and age, it's a valid question to ask if you're doing the polite way. Exactly, like again, no one was being rude. I did have a lot of people ask, but it was all very chill. Excited to see you working this. I am too. Lightning strikes and the hand comes out of the grave. Yeah, like spooks. Got the spooks. So, what we're going to be working on today, we have to split this up. So, actually, let's stop this for now. Listen, I love you hand scrolling. I'm very proud of you. I actually based this off Shiny, but then I just made them a goblin. I can't show you the references I use because it's got Shiny's face in them, but I had Shiny be like, can you smack your hand on the bed? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna film you smacking your hand on the bed. And like gave me an idea of like how fast it would go if you were going like full speed, smack your hand on the bed. About that fast. So that's what I got my references. We literally just got my phone camera. I was like, can you just go bonk, bonk, over and over again until I get one that I like, and then I redrew it. Yeah, so nice and easy. Also, B, thank you so much for the lurk. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's get rid of the timeline just for now, because it takes up a lot of space. So the plans today, we need to get, actually, should I crop it? No, we'll I'm gonna fill some colors in at the side, and we're just gonna get some basic stuff done actually at the moment, just real quick. First of all, don't worry about this. I'm thinking to reduce the screen size a little bit to give me the opportunity to zoom in, but we'll see. What program I'm using? Same as always. It's always Photoshop. I only use Photoshop. I have one art program. So what I want to get here today is an idea of all of the separate elements that we're going to have going around the grave. For instance, to split this up a little bit, we will of course need a gravestone, which we already know what the gravestone looks like. It looks like this kind of, it'll be a bit newer, but we need the gravestone. We need the hole. Actually, I'll draw all of these in different colors to make this easy. We need the hole that the grave will be there. So this is a separate layer. We need the coffin. Actually, let's have that a darker color, there you go, so you can see it easier. A coffin separately to the hole. There we go. Because that one will be being lowered into the other, so they're going to be on separate things. We need the coffin. We need a crowd of people, which is going to look like, probably we're going to go pretty simple with like how mourners look, because I don't want to have them to be detailed. They're going to be very silhouette-y, to be honest, because they're not important enough to have them be really obvious. But we'll have a mixture of probably royal goblins and non-royal goblins here, because he would have died in a time where there were better relations between the two, so just having like a few different things going on. We need a crowd of people, basically. And then we need piles of dirt, which also need to be separate because they'll come into the next part of the animation. So we need a pile of dirt here and a pile of dirt here. We need, these are all separate embroideries as well, to be clear. We need at least one tree, probably two, if I'm being honest. Probably need 2 trees just to keep things fresh, but we'll at least need one. So there we go. And the tree is going to be one of those bits that's going to take a little minute. To be honest, we probably will work on the trees first because I know they're going to be a little bit of a pain. So getting them out of the way would be really nice. But yes, we need at least a couple trees, probably. If we're having any bushes or other shrubbery, we will need those as well. So we'll need at least one bush. So yes. Hopefully this gives an idea. We need at least one regular goblin and one royal goblin, at least one tree, at least one bush, the hole in the ground, the coffin, the grave, the piles of dirt. I didn't know they had a time. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing animating in Photoshop, but it is where all of my animations have been done previously. I'm literally getting goose of the tears. I'm the only one who cried when reading the comic all the way to. Oh no! I mean, I'm glad you like it. It's meant to be a comedy. It's a comedy that makes you cry. All the best comedies make you cry, to be fair. I truly believe that. Dear. So yes, these are like a list of elements that we will need, and these will all be embroidered separately. Now, get a little bit of backstory, a little bit of information. I know a lot of people are not going to be interested in this, but I want to get it all out there because I want this to be as approachable as an idea to other people as possible. So embroidery thread. One of the eccentricities when you're working with embroidery thread, if I take you into this one really quickly, is it has a pile to it. So what that means is there is a fine, you're not probably going to see it on camera, I don't think, but there is a fine layer of fluff. If I get it really close, actually, that might be the easiest, because you can see where it's like got like the see-through bits at the side. There is a fine layer of fluff that coats every single piece of embroidery thread, which means when you make an embroidery, for instance, let's grab one out, let's grab Pomni, for instance. Where you sew, there is a slight fluff around it. There is a very small pile around every bit. And that's really normal. That's a big part of it. You know, you kind of work with it as part of the medium. What that means is, when you're working with embroidery thread for an animation, if I say cut a piece out, like say I cut out the face to put it on a separate layer, it's going to look really harsh at the edge. Really harsh, and it's not going to look good. It's going to look like you've lost what made it an embroidery in the first place. You lose that kind of thready look, right? Sorry, my wires just got caught 2 seconds. There you go. So you lose that thready look. So it's really difficult to cut out individual pieces. Now, a way you can get around that is to match the background color with the outline color. So we'll be doing a lot of this embroidery into darker colors, or whatever the main color of the piece is, so that we can cut a little looser around the side. This was something that I wasn't aware of before, but it is something you can do, and it makes it kind of work a bit better. But what it does mean is a lot of different pieces and a lot of different layers. The exclamation mark comic, and you'll get the comic up. Yes, if you exclamation mark comic, it gives you the link. I have it here. Exclamation mark comic to read the new comic for free. Oh dear. But yes, so that pile can cause a lot of problems when it comes to making things look like still thread but nice and neat. We'll be working around that a little bit, because doing this all on one level, you're all good, don't worry. Doing this all on one level would be very difficult. But there are elements that I'm really looking forward to doing. For instance, the trees, I have them that they will be changing season, and then also like losing their leaves, and then, you know, all that kind of stuff. I also want the leaves to sort of move in the wind and sway a little bit, lead into that kind of jitteriness that we have with our embroidery to make it look like the trees are kind of moving. Let's focus on getting the whole thing up, actually. If I have this as a scene, we do need, to be fair, an idea of what this scene's going to look like. Now, it is going to involve copying and pasting trees, bushes, and certain other elements. So I need to make sure that they also look good copy and pasted, because I don't want to do them multiple times. You know, a tree is really difficult, and many layers of work. To do a tree will probably take a week. And I am aware they're going to be one of the hardest bits to do. And the reason is, the way that the tree will work, it's not a complicated shape or anything, but you imagine 4 seasons, the tree has to look in 4 different ways. You need at least 2 frames for each of those, but also you want the frames where it's going in between. For instance, if I was to grab let's just draw this tree in black, for instance, for now. I don't know that's what I'm gonna do. I actually think I might match the outline colors a bit better to whatever color they're being filled, again, just so that I have that variety of like background color, and I can get the coolness of the thread still showing through. If I did them all on black, for instance, I think that would look kind of weird, but let's do this. Okay, first of all, what does tree look like in spring? Probably green. Let's get some green color. Okay, it's springtime. It's green. Maybe even with some little flecks of pink on it, because maybe it had little flowers. Maybe it's a fruit tree, you know? So we have some little flecks of that. And then it becomes summer. All right, summertime, we remove the flecks of green. All right, now it's autumn. This is where it's gonna get difficult. Autumn, oh my God, the leaves are dying. So slowly over time, you have to start filling in, like a little bit of like that, there, yeah, there. Fill in a bit more of that, fill in some of that. and then a little bit more of the red, and then you have to like build it up each time you add a few leaves until the whole thing is, oh, not that color, yay color. There you go. And then all of the tree, all of that has to disappear. So now grab all of, oh, not on, wrong button. Where's the thing I want? There it is. Grab all of this. Actually, all of those leaves need to come off. Delete that. But you kind of want to do it a bit at a time and not all at once. But you see how this is going to take a very long time just to do one tree, I hope. I hope this well illustrates to you why this is going to be such a pain in the ass to do. It's just a lot of work. And so even for one tree, you're looking at many, many different iterations. But the positive is, because you're going to be building off the base of the tree anyway, like you're going to be going... I probably will do the tree 2 separate ways between summer and autumn. So that I can have like green and unpick it and then have it full. And this is going to be a little complicated to explain because a lot of this is in my head. But basically, we'll do the standard tree in green. I'll probably put some little flecks of pink or something in it to indicate that it's spring, because we do have the 4 seasons. And then we'll remove those flecks of pink so that it can stay that way in summer. And then when it becomes autumn, we'll be looking at adding little flecks of orange and taking a picture every time we add a couple of flecks so that we can build that up. When we're then going through time a bit quicker, we'll just remove some of those in-between frames so that it speeds up. Yes, because better to have too many frames to start with and then cut down than not have enough because you can't get more. That was another thing I learned last time, is you can't get more frames, so you might as well do too many and cut back, especially if you're doing the work anyway. So I think today, again, the goal will be more specifically looking at, let's remove these. We're gonna get some of these drawn properly. So kind of similar to what we've been doing recently anyway, where we're actually gonna be doing like a proper drawing and getting like a really nice detailed piece, which I can then start working off of, because this is a scene where we're actually spending quite a bit of time. Although many of the elements might be separate eventually, initially before I draw them separately, I want to make sure that they all look good together. So that's what we're going to be doing. To be honest, I'm just really impressed that you're doing a comic with just mouse and keyboard. I mean, every single piece of art that I've ever made has been with either mouse and keyboard or trackpad, so we're very, very used to it. I think that practice definitely helps. I'm also going to merge all these together, and the shape actually. Let's merge this whole thing. This is our practice layer. Sorry, the update's still throwing me off a little bit. This is our practice layer. This is kind of a vibe looking at it. I want to have the sun behind the grave. So I want the sun to go down behind the grave. So I don't want to have any trees here, because then I will block where the sun goes down. Again, just for like that day going night, day, night, day, night, day. It's nice to have it visible in some of the shots where I have more. The sun will also be a separate layer, but very, very easy. Good luck, I'm off to do the best impression. Oh, you've got this. You've got this. Thank you so much again for the like, unpredictable. I really appreciate it. The comic has turned out so wonderful. I'm really glad you like it. Hell yeah. I'm really pleased. Hopefully it gets you up to date to like what we're doing now. That's the whole goal of the comic. The goal of the comic was, you know, we are now going to be working on an animation for a couple of months. I don't want people to not understand what we're doing, because it wouldn't be fair on people joining us for the first time. If you join us for the first time and you're like, what the hell are they doing here? I don't understand at all. So hopefully this comic can make it so that it's a little bit more approachable, and you know what we're doing here, and you know what the story is up to this point, and it doesn't feel quite so like you're left in the dark kind of thing. But yeah, that was the goal of the comic, because I've wanted to do this animation for a while, but I've been having to try and think of ways that I can fit this animation in, which is like not just me working on a passion project, because I mean that's what this kind of is, right? This is a passion project. I'm really passionate about, well, goblins, but also about embroidery thread and using embroidery in unusual ways. And I want to have a way that I can show that passion which isn't isolating to new viewers or people that have missed a certain arc of what we're doing. So hopefully that's what the comic is meant to be, a way to bring everyone up to speed, get everyone on the same level, so that if people want to give input and they want to talk about stuff, they don't feel like they can't because they've only just joined, kind of thing, you know? Especially more for new viewers, people that have never been here before. I just really don't want to put people off giving stuff like this a go. Like, it is labor intensive. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you know, doing this kind of animation, I mean, doing any animation is labor intensive. And then using a medium like like embroidery, something that is kind of known for being slow. Like, yes, it is labor intensive, but the effect you get with embroidery thread is so unique and different. And if you're someone who already really enjoys like a nice long embroidery session, I feel like this is something you could really jam with, maybe. I don't want people to get put off. That's it. Yeah, I just don't want people to get put off. I'm also just going to drag this tree down a little bit. We are going to do all the details and everything, but I'm just going to drag it down a little bit so that I can get to the top, because the top might clip off the edge of the screen, and that's fine. Beyond excited, me too. I've been so excited to start this project for the longest time, ever since I kind of came up with waffles, to be honest. And I came up with waffles in like November, I want to say. So I've been thinking about this project for a really, really long time. And again, like, just thinking about ways that I could introduce it to the rest of the community without it being annoying and also invasive. And also, yeah, trying to think of ways where, well, is there a way I could improve and do better than last time? Because I need to big up my knowledge on animation in general. So I've used the time to get better at animation and learn more about like smear frames and stuff like that. Also to get more confident with drawing, because that's important too. I'm going to do quite big leaves because then them falling off will be more dramatic. Yes, all the very best. Hell yeah, I'm very excited. And throughout basically half our partner push, we'll be working on stuff like this. Right now, of course, we are doing a more chill, I would say. And well, actually, I'm probably gonna have grass covering that. We're doing a more chill stuff at the moment, but it will get more intense as the project goes on. Kind of the same as last time. For anyone who wasn't here with the Iron Mouse one, we didn't get to talk about any of these behind the scenes bits. You didn't see me doing any of the drawing for the Iron Mouse, I think, competition. Actually, do I even need this? I mean, I guess I'll be doing it in embroidery thread, so maybe not really, actually. I actually maybe don't need to do this. I guess all those details will be done in thread, so I probably don't need to draw them. Okay, in that case, well, let's, first of all, we need a few of this tree. There we go. The nice thing as well is it doesn't matter if they're exact replicas, because if they're at slightly different parts of their animation cycle, then they'll look like different trees. Learned that before as well, because I wasted a lot of time doing stuff like that. There's no need. If you have them in different parts of their animation cycles, they look like different trees. Also, don't worry about them all overlapping. We'll fix that up in a second. If I go light on that one and light on this one, and then we kind of want this one in the way first. So what we can do is, first of all, get rid of everything from behind here. Fear not, fear not. Oh, wrong one. The one I didn't want to click. This one we can click. As long as I have one full tree on each side, that's fine. The rest of it is not necessary, because I'll only be doing one. Yeah, that's one thing that I feel a lot more confident with, is taking shortcuts. Before, I was not confident enough as an animator to even consider taking any shortcuts, because not that I, didn't agree that there are plenty of useful shortcuts in animation, but just that I didn't know enough about it to like really implement them with my own work and stuff. So yeah, this time, however, I am a more experienced jelly, and I have so many more shortcuts that I am happy to take that I don't worry about, because I know that it won't make a difference. The Iron Mouse competition was really, really good for that. I really hope they do another animation competition this year. Again, for those who don't know, this is honestly all blame Somne, if we're being completely honest. A lot of this is Somne's fault. Somne in this community, Somne are a very, very talented artist, I should say. They're very, very sweet bean. But they got us into chroma core last year, which you can exclamation mark chroma if you want a more detailed explanation of what that is. But they got us into chroma core last year. They got me really interested in stuff like that. And chroma core last year was really focused on animation, which meant that I got to see a lot of animators doing their thing, and that was really, really cool. But then that got me really interested in animation, which is, again, a bit out there for someone like me. And I had lots of people talking to me about it and giving me really good information and stuff like that. That's about what I want on each side. That looks good. I'm happy with that. So I've been lurking. Did you... Oh! No. No. Thanks, sleeves. I've just been so into talking about animation And again, I should clarify for anyone new here, I am in no ways a professional animator or anything like that. I think animation's really neat and really cool, and I like it very much. And I wanted to find a way that I could push it into my hobby, and my hobby is embroidery, and this is how we've done that. I think it'd be to about there. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe a little... Actually, no, that's fine. I think that's fine. All right, so we have our trees in. They look pretty cool. We'll have to do the grass on a separate layer. It's been an hour since you started, so now the art share. I think it's been an hour since I started stream. I think I've only been doing actual art, which isn't explaining, for about 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The first Discord art share is always after I've done an hour of art. Otherwise, I'm not productive at all. All right, let's see. We'll pop this here. Actually, no, wait, let's merge the trees together since they're kind of all the same thing. There we are. Oh, no, not like that, not like that. And make it a little lighter, and we'll go looking at adding some of that. Not sure how to be helped with your project, but please if you find a reason, whether it's testing animation or anything, me. No, that's very kind of you, don't worry. I think in this particular case, as much as I'm like, I want to show you behind the scenes because I want people's inputs, I kind of just want to talk about this style of animation and see if I can get anyone else interested in it, to be honest. I have an agenda, Sean. My agenda is, I wonder if I can get anyone else interested in in embroidered animation. What do you think? What do you think my chances are? I'd just be really, really interested if we could grab anyone else for this hobby. Basically, yeah, I have an agenda, and my agenda is, I wonder if anyone else will do this sort of stuff with me. That'd be really, really cool. But yes, I just kind of, I want to answer questions if people are interested, and I want to be in a position where if someone's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm kind of curious, how did you do this? I can tell you, because last time we did a project like this, I wasn't in that position. I was just having to rush through things so quickly that I couldn't like properly take a lot of time to explain why things are going a certain way or why we've made certain decisions. I kind of just had to be like, trust me, bro. And like, that's fine for when you're on a tight deadline. But generally, you know, I think it's because I have more of a cosplay background, but I want people to feel involved. I want people to feel like this is something they could do themselves if they wanted to. Because, like, again, I have no animation training or anything like that. All of my training comes from YouTube. And asking for feedback and things like that. You know, I did a YouTube video, I think it has about 4,000 views now, so I did get a lot of good feedback, I will say, where I basically was like, hey guys, if we have any animators here who would be happy to give me some feedback, I am looking to improve and I'm looking for more tips and tricks and I want to get better, so if you have anything to suggest, please do. And I'll be honest, some people were suggesting things where it's like, it's a good suggestion, but it involves a lot of money. But other people were just being like, oh, if you're an amateur, suggest getting this, trying this, read this, have a little look into A, B, and C, and it's like, you know, really, really helpful advice generally. So I got a lot of really, really good advice from that. And yeah, it's helped me grow. Good morning, anime! How goes it? We're setting the scene a little bit for the start of the next animation. Oh dear. And yeah, again, doing it live, doing these kind of behind the scenes bits, because I never showed any of the behind the scenes with the Iron Mouse one because I didn't have time. It wasn't from like, again, a wanting to not show it. It was just, I don't have the time to show it because this is such a big project and it's going to take me so long. I can't afford that extra time, you know? But I want to. I like being able to talk about the things that I'm passionate about, and I like being able to share those with other people. And I kind of missed out on that on the last one, and I don't want to miss out on it on this one. You know, this is my passion. What's the point in being a streamer if you can't share your passion with other people? That's like the big thing about being a streamer. That's the big streamer benefit, is if people come into your space, well, they've asked to be barraged by your passion, I'm afraid. They're here for that. Sorry, you're too late. You've joined and now you must learn about embroidery animations, you know? But it's people, that's the nice thing about streaming, is people can't escape. Oh dear. Evie for good had a lovely stream yesterday. Oh, heckin' lovely. I'm glad. Oh dear. Yes, we are we are slowly but surely getting in a scenery, getting in some scenery, getting in some vibes for where I want the opening shots to be taking place from. You know, getting those initial vibes. Again, early stages that I didn't get to show you last time that I can show you this time. I will say, you might be surprised at how simple most of the drawings stay. When it comes to transferring it to embroidery, most of the details are added later because there's just no reason to add embroidery details early on, right? There's just no reason. So it's like what I tend to do is I get the why is it white? There you go. Oh no, that's not what that's there you go. I get the embroidery details in, and then I get the basic details in, and then I add the rest of the details with embroidery only. So most of the details you never see in the drawings, and I kind of like that. It keeps you guessing. What's it gonna look like? Who knows? Not even I know. Until I embroider it, we have no idea. It could look like anything, honestly. There we are. Okay, get the little crown there. Go a little wider. Go a little dramatic. Go a little chunk on there. There you go. Get this bit up a little bit. It doesn't even need to be perfect, to be honest, because again, once you take it across to embroidery, it won't look perfect anyway. That's another nice thing about embroidery. Oh, those lines aren't perfectly symmetrical, Jelly? Doesn't matter. Actually doesn't matter at all. Because once you transfer it to embroidery, you'll transfer a perfect symmetrical piece. It'll be non-symmetrical in seconds. There is no symmetry. There is it's only close assimilations of symmetry. So all the pieces will just be outlines? Yeah, so if I can prove this, I think, pretty easily. None of my Iron Mouse animation was ever colored. If I go into Embroidery's Post Chroma Iron Mouse animation, do I have any of the PNG, like the GIFs that I used? Oh yeah. I guess I could use like these ones. It's gonna be a weird one though, because it's gonna be, this isn't the type that I did, but this is the way that it's gonna show as I highlight it as a GIF, which is done by frame by frame. But yeah, they all look like this, really, really undetailed. And that's how because all the detail comes in with the embroidery. So they all look like this, every single one. They all split up into frames that I can print out individually, and I did print out all of those frames, but they were all like this. There's a little ghost in one of them as well. Don't worry about the ghost. Fear not for the ghost. It's because to get the pose done correctly, I had to... Yeah, I did this first. Because this is a complicated one, right? So that's how I got it where I wanted it. Because it's a really complicated thing for me. So I did it with stickmans first. Anything which is a complicated thing, I do with stickmans first. There is always a place for stickmans. In my animations at least, and it is just generally easier to do stuff like like this. And then so what you can see in one of these frames, I believe, is a ghost of one of the stickman. You can see a ghost of the stickman because I drew them around those stickmen. Yeah, that's another part of the process. But again, I had to do all this off stream before because it was it would have been too tricky to do all this on stream and do the embroidery on stream, and everything else. It would have been too much. That would have destroyed me, I think. Oh dear. Yes. Anime and I learning from your projects. Anime did a heckin' big brain session on name the characters. Nice! Hell yeah, Anime! Heckin' lovely. Heckin' lovely. I don't know why you thought you colored them. Yeah, it's not, there's no reason to color them, to be honest, because unless, as long as you have a reference of what they look like colored, you know what colors they're meant to be, which I did have. I had, for all of them, I had this, so that I would take the colors from that. So I knew what color they were meant to be, and I had a list of all my colors and everything like that. But this was, I never colored a single one after that because it's there was no reason. And these are just frames that were taken specifically from the animation just so I could be this is kind of sort of coloring I want to do. These are the highlight colors I want to do. These are the shadow colors I want to do. Yada, yada, yada. But I didn't actually color any of the pieces I printed out. This was just for online, just to give me that reference of what's meant to go where, because I had to buy all of these colors. Oh dear. Yeah. That's as close as it got. That's as close as it got. I just didn't need to do anything more than that, which I'm kind of honestly glad about. Kind of honestly glad that I didn't have to do more than that, because it was already a big workload. Coloring them all in as well would have just added a lot, I think. which I didn't need. I had a lot to do anyway. I need more. I guess with an infinite time frame, you could do stuff like that if you wanted to color each frame, but I think if you know, if you're using the same characters over and over again and you know what colors they're meant to be, having just that reference once is kind of enough, to be honest, at least in my opinion. Maybe not for everyone, but for me it was plenty. I didn't need more than that. And I didn't make any mistakes with colors, so yeah. I got some cool nails on the bar yesterday. Later shop, I'm gonna be hyped about it. Nice, hell yeah. So that's like a character sheet with all the colours and stuff. Yeah, it's basically a colour for reference sheet. But like also you bear in mind, the main reason that I had this was so that when I went to Hobbycraft to buy all of the embroidery threads, I downloaded this image here, like this bit, on my phone and would just hold it up to the colours. That's the main reason, because once you're doing so much embroidery once you start, it does just get stuck in your head really quickly because you're doing the same characters over and over and over again. Like I have still the box. I mean, I guess we're doing behind the scenes things here. I still have the box of all of the things in here. So like, when you're doing that same character like hundreds of times, again, there's 124 frames here. When you're doing that, you get very used to it. Yeah, I have a lot of the really nice ones on top, but like, yeah, you know, these are all the same thing, really, if we're being honest. Like these are, oh, like, am I gonna forget what colors I'm putting somewhere? Like, oh, am I gonna forget? No, I'm not gonna forget. I'm not gonna forget because it's all like so similar. Like you just don't, because you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again for weeks. Like you don't forget. But so mainly it was used not so much during the actual project because it never came up on stream, I don't think. It mainly just was used for like getting the colors from the shop. yeah. It just wasn't that necessary. I don't even know if it'll be necessary this time because again, we're doing the same sort of thing. I probably only colour the outline of the character background. I'll be able to keep track of different pieces. Yeah, I think in a normal animation that would be a really smart move, because in this case the pieces can't actually exist on the same canvas once you start embroidering them. You don't really need to do that. But yes, on a normal animation that's a very smart move. But when we we're getting into eccentricities of embroidery already, you don't need to do that for embroidery because this is just like a reference for how I want the whole piece to look like when it comes together. But in reality, every single one of these pieces is different. These are different to these are different to these are different to these are different to these are different. They'll all be different embroideries. And since they don't have that overlap really at the end, at least in my opinion, everyone's different. And like, if you wanted to do it, you go for it. But what I have found is that I just don't need that. It's just not necessary. Again, specifically for using embroidery thread. I couldn't speak for other mediums, but in this medium, there's just no reason to, because they're never like on the same things anyway. There's just not a lot of interaction between any of the pieces when you're doing embroidery, I guess. So you don't have to worry about stuff like that, which is nice. Maybe that can count as like another one of the nice eccentricities of embroidery thread is you don't have to worry so much about the interaction between the pieces because they never actually interact. They're all separate. Will you make separate pieces as the colors? Would you make like a separate piece with just all the colors you would take from the comic? I'm not sure I understand what you mean, Anime. Would you mind if you're giving me a little bit more explanation? My brain might be being dumb here. I don't understand the question. Oh dear. Sorry. To be fair, in my defense, I just woke up. I've woken up recently, but I want to answer you. I want to give you an answer. I'm just not sure how to answer. All right, grab that, grab that. There we are. Okay, there we are. That gets the thickness. Not that it really, again, I'm making things very perfect while telling you, you know they don't have to be perfect, right? You know they don't have to be perfect. Once you take them across, this would be fine. We are. And yeah, I think that looks, I mean, the coffin will be particularly easy because there'll only be 4 frames of the coffin, which are the regular coffin and then the ones where the rune activates. Yeah. It means the color scheme from the comic for the embroidery. I don't really understand what you mean at all, to be honest. So like, if you made a character sheet from the other one, and for this one you don't really need that because you made the comic, but you get all the comic colors. Oh, I see. So like, I'll take the colors from the comic. Yeah, probably. But to go with the colours of animation, you need to make a colour sheet. Oh, okay, I see what you mean, in this case, anime, because this is not for a competition, this is just for my piece, I'm actually going to be using threads from my storage boxes. So it's going to be like... Oh, I almost broke my storage box. Jesus Christ, Jelly. What the heck? I'm gonna not do that in front of everyone. That would be a bit embarrassing. So I'm gonna be using old threads, which means it's gonna add a bit more of a weird look to it because it means colors might change at points, but I'm gonna be using threads from the storage box. The reason is I have so many threads and at some point it's like, this is becoming a bit much. The other thing is I got very, very lucky. A charity shop near me was selling loads of old threads, and look at all the greens I got for the goblins. I got so many greens. So I've kind of, one, gotten lucky, but two, also, I kind of just want to get through some of my old threads. I kind of just want to use a few of them. So what I'll probably do instead is do the thing on like in my sketchbook where I'll just stick the colors that I'm using in there so I can match it to that. Normally I wouldn't do that, to be fair, because it could lead to inconsistencies later, since most of my threads, even if they're the same color, will come from different dye lots and things like that. So I guess I wouldn't necessarily recommend that if you're looking for a really nice clean finish, but since I kind of want to focus on recycling a little bit more with this project and like using older things and not hoarding too much, I will personally be using stuff from my store, but it's difficult. It's a difficult one because I don't necessarily recommend that. I wouldn't say that's maybe the best idea, but at the same, that is what I am doing. But it's purely for recycling purposes. It's not for necessarily how the final look would look. I just kind of want to get through some of my threads. I got a lot of threads and I want to use them. And I feel bad, honestly, buying new threads when I know that I have threads lying around. Even if it's like, it would be useful for this project. It's like, yeah, but I have so many threads. Let me just be a good bean for once and actually use some of the stuff that I already have. Yeah, not what I'd recommend, but yes, that is what I am doing. At least not what I'd recommend for your first animation, I guess, because I think that could make things really difficult if you're worried about running out of threads and such. Yeah, maybe later that'd be fine. Maybe, I mean, honestly, to be fair, a lot of people, maybe I'm not giving enough credit, a lot of people here have a very keen artistic eye. You might be fine with that first time, actually. I think anime would be. Good luck with the study. Oh, wait, Link, you guys studying? Wish you have a wonderful stream, but also great time. No, you're fine. Good luck with the studying. I hope that it goes well. Take care of yourself. All right, we got that. Now we just need the casual figures in the background. If I screw... Yeah, actually, I really quite like that. And that kind of shows all the different elements. I would like some bushes, I think, just for that extra something. But otherwise, I think that's looking pretty good, to be honest. As like a base. The tree is, you can see it's copied and pasted, and it'll probably look copied and pasted in the final thing as well, and that's fine. We have the tree, the grave. The grass, I will probably do a few separate grass ones. Yeah, I think. Oh, thank you for the egg, Scott. I appreciate it. The coffin, the grave bit itself will be separate because I'll need it to be. The piles of dirt will make it easier to sink the coffin into the grave because they'll have a layer to hide it behind effectively. The gravestone itself, and then we just need the mourners, which I might hide everything else for. Just because there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's focus on we need to make 2 different mourners. We need to have, and they're going to be really undetailed because they're not going to be around for very long, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on something that's barely going to be there. But we'll have some commoner goblins. I want their head shapes to be obvious because... Although, well, I said that. Actually, wait, did I mention this earlier? I've kind of wanted to have some kind of like, again, if we don't hit partner, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But on the off chance we did, because it's kind of a lofty goal, I wanted to have like a bit of a stake involved. Because again, it's kind of a lofty goal. So I was having a think, and basically we decided, I say we, mainly me, I decided it was something that I could physically do if it was popular enough, you know, kind of thing, that people would actually want to see it. Yes, what we kind of decided was, oh, that would be a really cool idea, actually. Sorry, I just had a thought. What if there could be ones where the cape's warping side to side? That'd be pretty cool, because then we could get the wind going through the capes as well. Okay, we'll draw a standard just straight down then if that's going to be the case, because then I can do that stuff with that later. What was I saying? Oh yeah, if we hit partner before Boobtober, I'm going to say before Boobtober because I'm going to probably apply in September, because again, it's already unlocked. So if we hit partner and also get partner before Boobtober this year, which is October, then I'll release the full webcomic. I'll do the full thing. You know what? We'll keep releasing it. Because I feel like that would be a good indicator. Since we're predominantly going to be working on Goblin stuff between now and that date, I feel like it's a good one to have up as like as a thing. Because it's mainly going to be Goblin stuff. So if people want more Goblin stuff, there is a way we can do it. I will say I probably would only do it under those circumstances, just because making a full webcomic is like not a small feat. It's quite a big feat. Actually pretty large feat, I would say, like pretty big feat. So yes, I would only do it if we did hit it, but if you're someone who has enjoyed the webcomic and Goblin, specifically I guess more Goblin shenanigans, and you want to see more, there you go. That's an option. It's a way to get it. I'm sorry that I made it so difficult. It's mainly just because as much as I really, really like doing these Goblin things, it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I'd want to make sure that before I committed to such a big thing, that there was actually an audience out there that wanted to see that. Because sometimes you get one person be like, yeah, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, but then everyone else doesn't. And it's difficult to tell what actually everyone would like. So I feel like this is also a good way of seeking if that's actually something people would like, because people can vote with their luck. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. All right, I think we can manage with these two. There we are. Thank you. That would be a good cool one to work towards together with the stuff for Boobtober. Yeah, that all has to stay a bit more secretive, unfortunately, because that's how Boobtober goes, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll reveal stuff eventually. I believe it's normally August, so it'll probably be August again this year, but we'll get there. We'll reveal stuff. There we go. And that's way too tall now, so let's that there. I think I'm gonna copy and paste you too. Boom, boom. There you go. Have a couple more. Oh, that one can stay. That one can stay. There you go. There we go. Get that one and put that one here. And then like there. And then this one, make them smaller. Make them just a little smaller. They're meant to be quite a bit smaller than Royal Goblins, so let's just make them a little smaller there. There we go. Looking to see if it is feasible if you're hitting partner. That's kind of the thought, yeah. It's like one of those things I wouldn't do without hitting the goal, but if we hit it, sure. You know what? And again, it's a really good indicator for me that that's actually something that people want to see, which I have a lot of passion projects on Twitch and there's a lot of things I really enjoy, but I still want to do things that people want to see. Like, I don't want to do stuff that's going to bore everyone, even if it's something that I personally really like. So I try and still make things interesting. And yeah, I think that would be a really good indicator for me if people are actually interested or not. Because yeah, you can literally, if we're doing all the Goblin projects and we have even less people than like less people than usual, for instance, it's a good indicator that that's not something that people are enjoying. And it's like, even if a few people really want a webcomic, I'm not gonna do it if the majority of people are like bored out of their mind. Even if it's something that I enjoy, because I'm in a very lucky, like if it was the only thing I'd enjoyed on Twitch, then I'd feel differently about it. But I am very lucky in that I have a lot of hobbies I really enjoy on Twitch. So yeah, I can switch to other things quite easily. There we go. And then pick this one up. Get that in there. And in there. Actually, all of that. There we are. And then we'll just have to do the same thing with the trees, but we'll work on that. Actually, if anything, I might just fill them in with white. Yeah. I think it's already cool that we have 5 chapters. Yeah, I think that's really cool too. I mean, for me, just seeing them there with everyone else's is really cool. And it gives me a lot of joy seeing my webtoon alongside everyone else's. Oh, that was an accident. Ah, this one. This is the one that's on the wrong side. Okay, so now it's that one, that one, that one. Okay, so I probably want to put this one here. So I'm just gonna sort out the order. That. Nice, okay. They did not want to go in the right order for a second there. And then on this one, we're not going to be able to do stuff with that yet. Why is this one? One of them is not so... There you go. Okay, that's the one. Also, Merriman, thank you for the follow. It's very kind of you. We are going to be embroidering this eventually and turning into an animation, but we're early days. We're early days. All right, that's the one at the back. That's the one at the front. Silly order again. Is that better? That one, that one, that one. There we go. Well, now I know which order they're in. All right, let's get this one down and this one down, and then start erasing things. And then we can chip away after that. Hell yeah. Again, luckily, because most of the detail gets added when we embroider it, they really don't need to be more detailed than this. This is fine. We can keep things nice and simple as long as the whole group looks okay together, which is kind of important. As long as the whole group looks okay together, then it's fine. Oh my god, Yuri! Wait, what the heck? Thank you so much for the raid. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let me do your proper shout out and everything. Dear. I like how you title set up. I'm glad! You can copy it if you want it. You're more than happy to have it. Dear. There we are. We got shout out for Yuri and shout out for Yuri, but the big one. How was your stream? What did you get up to today? I hope you had a good one. Oh, wait, you playing Civ? Oh my god. Listen, I hope you really enjoyed your Civ session. I hope you really enjoyed it. Like, it's so early in the morning for me. The idea of playing Civ so early. You must have big brain when you wake up. And Nikela, welcome on in. It's a mini computer with a big heart. Welcome, welcome. And Yuri, welcome as well. Civ is so fun to play. I used to live in a house of people like who were just constantly playing Civ, so it was like always on. And I really like, I don't like playing Civ, I like watching Civ. Is what I have learned. I get a little stressed out playing it, but watching it, that I can do. That's good stuff, that is. How was your stream? I hope you enjoyed it. For everyone new here, hello, hi. My name is Jelly. We're currently actually doing a bit of a partner push. We've actually already unlocked partner. We're very lucky. We're in a very lucky position, but we're trying to get our numbers up. And what we're doing at the moment is making an animation. This might look really simple right now, and you're right, it is really simple right now. This is the first session we've done on it, but we've made animations with embroidery before. Oh, that's the other thing is we're going to embroider all of this. It's an embroidered animation, and I can show you what they look like. This can be our raid video. This is one we made for Iron Mouse's animation competition, which means it's a clip of Iron Mouse. This time we're going to be doing one of our own characters, but this is what it looks like.
All right, then.
Part of the country club.
I feel like I should get my class first, you know.
You have to be a part of the country club, Connor. Play along.
Yeah, I'd love to join the country club.
Good.
I got my snakeskin boots ready.
4 big guys, and they on my eyes. They eat my ass just like apple pie. If they keep me like this, I might just die. They pie my booty till I cry. He licked my and the start dripping. Took a bite. It tastes like lemon pepper chicken. He throw me up in the air, my booty flipping.
What the fuck is this?
Like Scottie Pippen.
It should have been me, not him. It's not fair.
There you go. There you go. That's kind of what embroidered animation ends up looking like. It's nice to honestly have an example of it now because hopefully it helps explain a bit more better what we're doing right here. Also, here are all of the frames we embroidered for that one. They all had to be embroidered frame by frame. It was quite the endeavor. We're doing it again and I'm very excited, but this time we're doing it with our own comic characters. It was wonderful. Just finished an 11-hour stream. I love Civ, but spent most of the day working on a game engine. Honestly, that's very fair. So you finished with Civ. That's fair. That's fair. Also, congrats on it. We haven't hit it yet, but what we have hit is this. We've opened our path to partner, so we can apply at any time, but we just need to get our numbers up a little bit before we bother trying again, if that makes sense. Dear, I need to raid my... Oh no, you're fine, you're fine. You've been streaming for 11 hours. You go rest. You go do whatever you need to do. Again, thank you so much for the raid. It's very hecking kind of you. Dear, must have taken so much time. 3 weeks. It took 3 weeks. Oh, something raid viewers, you're definitely right. Anyone who's coming with Yuri, if you're okay with it, I'd really appreciate if you are happy to click my profile page because it refreshes the stream and it takes the raid viewer out of your URL, or you can just manually fix the URL if you know how to do it. I'd really appreciate it. You don't have to, but it means that you count towards a regular viewer, which really helps for partner, but it's completely up to you. Thank you. No, you're damn right. I need to get better at that. This is, by the way, the first day we've been pushing for partner, so I apologize if I am a little rusty. Or not even rusty. I've never done this before. A little new. I'm trying. We're trying our bestest, you know. But we are new. We're giving it a go. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh, dear. Thank you, by the way, for the reminder. I appreciate it. Sexy slime, you're damn right, sexy slime for Yuri. Yuri, you need to go. But while you're gone, and for all of the people that came with Yuri, let me draw you the first sexy slime of May. All right, if it's gonna be, okay, I think if it's gonna be for Yuri with the name like that, I think I know. It might be more than one sexy slime. We might go out of the norm for this one because it's gonna be like a beam. Beam. I won't give him eyelashes. Oh god, wrong way. There we go. Here are your sexy slimes. There we are. Draw them on ice. Had them in a little ice rink. There we go. Like chumph, 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 chumph. There they are. Here's your here is your sexy. Only girls have eyelashes. Exactly. That was my thought process. Let me remove that really quickly, and I'll take a screenshot of that for sleeves. That they have their first sexy slime of May. There we go. Thank you so much for the raid, Yuri. Here are your sexy slimes. Oh dear. There we are. I love this. It's a good slime right there. Oh dear. Did I do this on a separate layer? I actually don't. Oh. Uh-oh. What did I do? No. I've accidentally removed something and I don't know what I removed. God damn it, Photoshop. Why are you like this? Oh, I found it again. Okay. I just wanted to know if they were on the same layer as anything else. Oh no, they're on their own separate layer. Goodbye, sexy slimes. Okay, if I remove this one, we have this, okay, and this, which is for good. Okay, we've worked it out. We got it. Always love a good bit of a sexy slime. We love a good sexy slime. Thank you so much, Ray. But no, go look after yourself, Yuri. This is the new, this is the Yuri on Ice movie. We've all been waiting for it for many years. I actually recently got recommended the Yuri on Ice, that clip, the clip that the one that was everywhere. Because I was watching Yuri on Ice when it came out. I was there. And yeah, when that clip I don't want to spoil it because I'll be honest, if you haven't seen Yuri on Ice, even if you normally don't like, it's difficult to say because it is very much a sports anime where I would say the main couple happen to be maybe a bit interested in each other rather than it's like tacked on. Basically, I'd recommend it, and I don't want to spoil it, but there was a particular scene that went very, very viral, for good reason as well, because it was well done. Yuri on Ice did suffer with a lot of like budgeting problems and time problems and everything like that. There were a lot of issues in the production of that show, but there was one scene that did a really, really good job, and it was really nice, and everyone clapped. Yuri on Ice and 2 characters in your name. Yeah, I also watched it. It's like, we were there when it happened, and it was really good. Oh dear. Yeah, no, that was a heckin' time. That was a long time ago now. Jesus, time heckin' be flying. It's not allowed. Oh dear. Good morning, Ambrose. Good morning. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. Welcome. No surprise they cancelled the movie. I mean, I think it still is a bit of a surprise because of how popular that show still is. I think it's just the time and effort, and they had a level of perfection they wanted to hit with the sports scenes that I think was just very difficult for the time limit they had. And it's tricky because obviously in a perfect world you have as long as you want to do every single scene and you can spend as much time as you want, but when you're actually doing an active show you don't have that time, and yeah, it is a shame, but it do be like that. I mean, they're not the only show ever that's had those kind of things. Happens pretty regularly. I think a lot of it was that. I mean, there was another show that I watched the whole thing, and it's kind of infamous now, and I'll be honest, I don't blame necessarily anyone. It was just a really bad situation with like production timing and stuff like that. Does anyone here know an anime called Wonder Egg Priority? Really interesting concept. Really quite heavy. I would say before watching a show like that, you should definitely read trigger warnings, because the whole theming of this show is around mental health, and so naturally there are a lot of scenes that could be quite upsetting to certain viewers. So double check if you are planning to watch it. Not that I'd 100% recommend it. Not that I would 100% recommend it. There are many things in Wonder Egg Priority that I recommend, in that like it's a very honest and brutal portrayal of a lot of things that happen in society that can cause people to have mental health crises, right? And the fact that it's being so openly talked about in a show is really interesting. The fight scenes are beautiful, well animated, really stunning, amazing bursts of colors. The character designs are unique and recognizable. There's a lot of really good stuff. But the production problems of that show were some of probably the worst I've ever seen, as far as like a viewer point of view, because oh my god, they did some things. they did a recap episode, which does happen sometimes when people are getting a little behind. They did a recap episode. What show review do? Wonder Egg Priority. Wonder Egg Priority. I have a sneaking suspicion the majority of people here have not seen Wonder Egg Priority. It was a bit of an abstract show. And again, before you watch it, go read the heckin' trigger warnings, and don't say them in chat because other people might not want to know. Keep it to yourself. But if you are planning to go watch it, you should go read trigger warnings for that one in particular. But they did a recap episode. Happens quite often, but then they spent so long trying to get the whole series out, they couldn't actually get the final episode finished in time, which means there was no final episode. So what they did was about 3 or 4 months down the line, they did a special where the first 25 minutes of the special episode is recap for a 10 episode show that already has a recap episode. And then the last bit, like the last 10 minutes of the special, is basically them tacking on an extra storyline for a second season that's never going to happen because they had so many issues with production. And it's like, yeah, what are you doing? Like, I don't think I've ever seen a show fumble the ending quite that badly. Where the ending episode, the finale to the season, was 25 minutes of recap followed by 10 minutes of like setup for a second season that's never going to happen. And they didn't even finish the storyline from the first season, they went straight to the second. Oh dear. Is it an anime? It is an anime, yes, it is an anime. Also, to get back on target, this, I think, is fine. Really, really simple, but this is kind of what I kept it to for stuff like that. I kept it really, really simple because for animation, again, I'm doing most of the detailing when it comes to doing the actual embroidery itself, not doing this bit. The lines are just the outside, all the details get added with embroidery. So actually this is fine. And when you look at it compared to, again, like if I open a flip base GIF, oh no, that's the very base. That's the very base. No, don't change. I didn't do anything. Was it flip line art? Yeah. Like with all of these frames, these are a little more detailed just because they're characters, but they're pretty basic. You can see the outlines of the clothing, the knee, stuff like that, but nothing more intense than that. Because it's just not necessary. It's just not needed. Like, it's just not at all. So this should be fine. Oh dear. I am special too. Oh, okay. Fair enough, Minimal. Welcome on in. Also, anime. Yeah, oh bye. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Hopefully our animation will have better... Well, there's no production. The production is me. The production is me. Oh dear, just got done watching the Shogun. Oh, nice. And you really enjoyed it? I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. All right. The next step of this now, I worry this is going to get boring. If this is getting boring, we could do something else, I suppose. I always fear that some of the behind the scenes things are not what people want to see, but I'm also like, I don't want to hoard information of how this stuff works. Basically, we now have to separate it into layers for printing so that I can take it onto fabric. What I will probably do is focus on like one tree at a time and stuff like that, because That generally makes more sense and makes it easier, and we need to work out how many of the tree we need. In this case, we're actually going to need quite a few of the tree. We're going to need some, probably... It's going to be a little tricky. This is also one of the bits where I'm nervous about streaming, because... Not because anyone's ever been rude or mean, but it takes a lot of thinking and a lot of thought process getting all this done. Let's take across to a new one. This is, how big was this again? This is I'll do a 900 by 900 if the width is 900. Oh no, it's 1000. Okay, we'll do that then. Open new, just get the size right. We'll do 1080, 1080, and then 300 pixels an inch. Go create a nice little square. Let's get rid of this one because this was from an animation previously. Let's get rid of this one because this was an animation previously. We have the one from this one. We have this grab tree. Have you already got a story complete, or are you drawing and creating stories as you go? Actually, we do, Voodoo, and if you ! comic, you can read the story. Are you animating using fabric cutouts? Not fabric cutouts per se. Embroideries, full embroideries. But yes, kind of. I have, at the moment, we're doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff today where we're getting people introduced to this series. We've done this sort of thing before, so they end up being embroideries like this. We made one for the Iron Mouse animation competition, so I actually have a really good example. But this is a very short clip of a hula hoop going around on a butt, and it took 16 frames, and it's all the frames are just embroidered. Here's another frame. There's 16 of them. They are labeled at the bottom, but I think most of them are a bit lower down. We have the flips. We have everything. We even have the text at the end where I wrote that this animation was made entirely of hand embroidery. Yeah, so, and this is a whole box of 124 frames, all on fabric. This was an animation in this box, which I think is pretty cool to say. I think that's pretty cool to say. It's an animation in a box. But we're doing that again, and this one's going to be a bit more complicated. Hand embroidery, yeah, we hand embroidered the whole thing. I saw some embroidery machine animation. Yes, there is a video game that's gone kind of viral, I want to say, at least on a lot of social medias, where they are actually making it out of, they're making it out of machine embroidery, that one is. Hand embroidery is a little less perfect. I actually have a machine right here, but it looks different. It's a different vibe. And the vibe that personally I jam with is hand embroidery. I also really just enjoy hand embroidery. So of course, since it's something that I already enjoy, of course that's the vibe that I'm gonna be going for. So yes, for me it's hand embroidery, but don't get me wrong. I think that the machine embroidery is very hecking cool, and I can't wait to see what that video game ends up looking like. Hopefully playing it. I'd love to play it one day, because it's such a cool idea. I think as well, on a larger level, hand embroidery is just so slow comparatively to machine embroidery. You would be spending I don't know, 20, 30 years getting the amount they've done if you were doing it in hand embroidery. There's just no reason to. But doing it in machine, you can get it done a little quicker. And again, it does give a slightly cleaner look at the end, which is pretty nice. Alright, get the basic tree. Basic tree here. Though I use a script to generate embroidery machine instructions, doing it by hand is astonishing. I am not the first person to be clear. Sorry, my lungs are still a bit I am not the first person to do this. I am not the original idea haver. Other people have done this before for years. It's just generally a very slow process, and in the content creation sphere these days, stuff that you can't do quickly tends to get overlooked quite often. But I'm definitely not the only person who's done this. It's just the people that are doing this. It's gotta come from a passion, right? Because if you don't have the passion for it, you're not probably gonna take off doing it. I think there's a lot of things you can do, especially with animations on YouTube and stuff, where people don't expect it to happen as quickly and stuff like that. But in reality, embroidered animation is just so slow that it's gotta be a labor of love. But thankfully, I really love hand embroidery, and I find it really fun. I find it really relaxing, to be honest, and very therapeutic to just sit down and do some hand embroidery in an evening and stuff like that. And so for me personally, this kind of project, although it is a big project, is not maybe so intimidating, because I know that the majority of the project that I'll be doing is something that I find particularly relaxing, and that I can just sort of sit down, in the evening and chip away at. And the trees, by the way, we are going to work on first. I did say that we were going to do trees earlier, but we're doing trees. The reason the trees are going to be a little tricky, we're going to be doing them in this style of this. This is another very, very short GIF animation that we made, showing overgrowth and then like removing. So basically you work on one base and then you add to it. And so in this case, the base was buildings and then you add bits over time to make it look like it's overgrown. It's a much quicker way of getting lots of frames done rather than, you know, doing that. This one that I did before was very much frame by frame animation, but for background pieces, this is much better. Yeah, a lot less redrawing effect, yeah, basically. And also, you know, you have the base is always the same, which means although there's still that shifting stop motion effect, it's not as dramatic. Whereas the ones where you're doing frame by frame animation while doing embroidery, there is a lot of human error. And you notice it, you do notice it. And it does make a difference. And like, again, it's part of the effect, but you don't want it too much because otherwise you can't tell what's going on. But yes, they'll be doing that. I didn't know that was a game. The example I've seen before, oh really, was Humessi's animations using simulation embroidery machines. Oh really? Okay, yeah, no, I've not seen that then. We've seen, there's even more examples out there than I thought. Ah, dear. Interesting. I'll have to have a little look at that after. Is it okay to be linked? I'm afraid not. We don't have links in chat. We do have a Discord where you can post links, but yeah, we had to remove. It's a funny story actually. We had to remove links after someone started putting phishing emails, like not a bot, like a regular viewer started putting phishing things into my chat, which I've still to this day never heard of happening to any other streamer. That a regular viewer was just like, I'm gonna see if I can get people in chat's details. And it was, if it hadn't been for our mods at the time, I wouldn't have even realized they were doing it because it was at a time where we regularly had people posting links. But no, they were trying. I've never heard it happen to anyone else. But yeah, we had to turn links off after that. Funnily enough, because it was like actually dangerous to be in the chat for a while. It's just like, that's ridiculous. Oh dear. What a heck. Oh, yeah, still never heard that happening to anyone else. One day. I mean, I kind of hope that it doesn't happen to other people though, actually. You know, maybe in retrospect, it's a good thing if it doesn't happen to other people. Because as weird as it is, it's also not really a good thing to have happen in your community. It's one thing when bots post like more followers and such, but it's another thing when it's like a human being. Oh dear, it's tragic. Yeah, it was very weird. Very, very weird. I do traditional animation on computer. I can't imagine. Well, I think it depends. Like, it's not that different. Like, we have here, for instance, I have a very, like, I'm going to be printing each of these frames out on paper. And here is what it's going to look like. But most of the details get added later. So at this stage, it's really, really simple. The only things I have to do digitally are really, really simple, like just general base and like lines and such, because most of it gets added much later. So like at this point, in some ways it's easier, right? Because like I don't have to worry about stuff down the line. Also, Ken, thank you for the follow. And CJ, thank you for the DJ, of course. Thank you. Yeah, so in many ways it's easier because you don't have to worry about adding detail early on. You can just kind of have the basic shapes, have the smears where you need them, and print them all off. I will say though, the big down. Okay, we talk about upsides and downsides because I want people to get interested in this sort of thing. If you know, animating in traditional media, I think it's really cool, right? So even if it's not embroidery specifically, I don't want to put people off, but I do want to also be honest about the upsides and downsides of animating with traditional media and the ink usage. You do so much printing. Like, you have to bear in mind, for the Iron Mouse one, I had to print 124 frames. And because you're doing that at relative size so that you can get the detail in the first place, yeah, your printing costs are... Because if you imagine you have to print every single frame you draw, keeping them simple is also to the benefit of your printing. Because if you're doing really complicated things where you have to print a lot of color or stuff like that, your poor printer is going to be very upset. Very upset. So yes. So that's another thing. Also, I'm going to save this as tree base. This will be tree based. The poor trees. I know, right, Blapple? Also, Blapple, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I lost... Okay. Where have I put stuff? Goblin animation. This is tree, but only the base. Save that there. We have base, where it's like, this is kind of what I want the opening scene to be. And we have tree base, where we have to get the animation for the tree sorted. Ah, there, poor tree. Poor little tree. And so, good morning. I love seeing how people blend different animation and media. Makes me the Soviet cutout animation, Yuri, Nonstein, and similar. I still need to learn a lot about animation. I'm an embroidery artist and cosplayer, really. I do sewing. So I'm still, like, very, very new. I don't know, do you know something called chroma core? You still got the headache? Oh, bless you. I did see you were taking nipping off to take painkillers yesterday. I hope you feel better soon. It's very difficult to do anything when you have a headache. Look after yourself. If you need to lurk, I appreciate the lurk as always. But yeah, no, I don't know if you know a thing called chroma core. We did chroma core last year, and we entered with only embroideries, because that's something that I wanted to improve on, right? Actually, I need to do this on a separate layer. It was something that I wanted to improve on. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna do... Oh, that's an idea. Could we do the trunk and the leaves on different layers? We could do the trunk and leaves on different layers, and that would give me a bit more freedom with moving the leaves. Ooh! An idea. An idea is forming. What if we did that? Ooh! Also, Free, good morning! I hope you're doing well. Also, I don't know where it came from. It do just be happening sometimes. It happens sometimes. I hope you get better soon. Maybe it's because I punched you in the head. Could it be that? Could it be my amazing head kick? Chroma Core Citizen, yeah, you do know, yeah. Chroma Core, I do know that one, right. So we did Chroma Core last year, but we entered with only embroideries. Also, I'm gonna ask you don't try and diagnose someone's headache in this community of all places. Thank you. Dear, please. This is not a good community to be doing that in. I want to open a picture. I know you mean well, by the way. I do know you mean well, but nah. Leave people and just tell them they wish they get better, because if they need anything further than that, they should go to a doctor, not to Twitch chat. And I think Blapple more than anyone probably knows that. Embroideries, where's Chroma? Give me the, there it is. We did an embroidery every single prompt. Last year. So these were all the embroideries we made last year. We actually made like a short animation, but last year everyone was making animations for Chroma Core, and I wanted to give it a go. So I mainly got to talk to a lot of people about their animation processes and stuff like that, and it was really, really cool. Really, really cool. And they helped me a lot, and they gave me a lot of inspiration and gave me a lot of like directions and things to look at. So during Chroma Core last year, you can kind of see we made like a hand opening and closing here because you can see the different frames. We did that for the character from Pan's Labyrinth, and then we have the building off to one side here, which we obviously did, where I showed you this one for, where we took a picture every time we added a bit so that we had that overgrowth look. Dear. And yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So we did a lot, and it got me really interested in animation. So then when Iron Mouse was like, oh yeah, we're doing an animation competition, it was like, oh hell yeah, you know that I'm entering that. So we entered Iron Mouse's animation competition entirely with this, and we ended up being one of the winners, which was really, really cool. But again, I only really just started stuff like this. I'm still very, very new. And when we did the Iron Mouse one, I couldn't really talk about what we were doing very well because we had 3 weeks to do all of this. We had 3 weeks to embroider 124 frames because I had to be real quick on it. So I kind of just, you know, we did a lot of the embroidery on stream, but a lot of the behind the scenes stuff I kind of didn't show. Not because I didn't want to, I just didn't have the time to. But yeah, this was what we did. And I'm still really proud of it, but I think we can do better. I think we can do better. So that's what we're aiming for this. And for anyone who's just popped in for the first time, also Gnome, good morning, welcome on in. Gnome, we wrote a webcomic. I've been prepping for this. For a minute. Basically, I've made some original characters. Chroma Core is all about making an original character and sending them in as a cadet and stuff like that. So I have made my cadet for the year, which is going to be part of this. And then I've also, we wrote a whole comic around them. And then also now I'm making an animation around it. So we've got quite invested, I should say. Dear. Sounds like you're getting ready for bed. Oh, get some good Z's. It's good. Chroma Core was too intense for me to participate in last year, but it's always amazing. It was very inspiring, very heckin' inspiring seeing what everyone's doing. It's really, really cool. I probably just need to sleep. Hopefully you get some good Z's at some point. Leave me out of the battle. You don't want to be like punched in the middle between me and Blapple and our furious fists. I didn't concede. I absolutely didn't concede. Excuse me. It's amazing. 124 embroidery, man, your poor fingers. They're very strong. I have deceptively strong hands, and I have one very strong arm. Is there anything I do? Mainly it's just embroidery. No, I can't do most things. Just embroidery. I'm okay with that. My stream title is Spreading. Wow. Wow. Wait, who to? Who do we need to whack our fingers at? But yes, we have a comic now with the characters, the goblins that we've been making. I am, by the way, not really a digital artist. For anyone just popping in, I literally do all of my drawings with mouse and keyboard because I am not... this is not where I focus. My focus is traditional arts. It's like embroidery. So when I get money, I spend it on embroidery stuff. I'm so sorry. But yes, it's been really, really fun, and I've enjoyed learning a new skill, and I've been really, really passionate about this. Ah, dear. No, I mean, I don't need to be in the middle of the... Oh, you're in a different fight. Your fight is in a different room. That's very fair. You cheered on and watched. Wait, is it Cthulhu? The thing is, Cthulhu I meet up in person, so like when I'm saying I'm gonna fight Blapple, it's kind of difficult. But like when I'm saying I could fight Cthulhu, I mean I could fight Cthulhu. They're pretty close by. Well, I say pretty close by. They live in the UK. It's closer than Blapple. You get animation paper and you could pegboard if drawing on paper is more comfy to you. I want to get better, but it's hard, right? Again, like I've been drawing. For the part, but do I have any? I should have them because I literally just finished them the other day. I'm very bad at saving things. Is it Goblin? Is it Cadet? Story, comic start. I think I've been doing pretty good. We've drawn a lot. Here's my goblins. There they are. Here are my goblins. I love them very much. They're sweet beans. Oh, the Queen, thank you for the follow. It's very kind of you. Here they are. I love them. But yeah, it's kind of because I want to do stuff like this, I kind of need to be able to do some digital stuff. Yeah, because otherwise it'd be hard for me to keep uploading all of this sort of thing. So I need to get better. But I like it. It just is slow. It's just slow. It's just slow. This is a slow little thing. Although, to be fair, I have this as a thanks to Blapple. So the reason that, because I had like a mouse on a cord, and it would have been way more annoying to do all this drawing if I had my mouse on a cord. So, and I had this mouse thanks to Blapple. Oh dear. I don't know why Phoenix wants to take you out so bad. The kind is human. I mean, it could just be a Phoenix thing, right? Okay, how am I gonna... I mean, I could just do this in retrospect. Doing vectors with mouse is how I started back in the day. Yeah, it's like, you start somewhere. For me, I only really been doing digital stuff for the last couple months. Till then, it was all traditional. I have my sketchbooks. This is the new one, so it doesn't have very much in it, but this is my one from January. I do a sketch every single day, and I've been doing a sketch every single day for over a year now, but I used to do them all in individual piece of paper. So whereas now I do them like, you know, in here, and it's a little bit more obvious. But I have a whole finished sketchbook, and I've started the second one. We're doing it. We're practicing. We're trying to get better. That's a good advantage of digital art. Thank you for oh no, thank you. No, thank you so much for popping by. I'm so glad we met. It's honestly so nice to have someone to chill with first thing in the morning who's doing relaxing things when I'm just waking up. So no, I really appreciate it. But I'm only really good at, again, one thing. It's just one thing that I do a lot for. Dear. It's dedication, not as much we're doing that. Yeah, lots of practice. Do you have a background in art or something? Architecture. Does architecture count as art? That's what I did. I was more good at maths and drawing lines. My whole degree is in computer automated design for architecture. Unfortunately, when I was diagnosed with chronic migraines, working on a screen consistently is something that I just can't do as a job. I have to take a lot of breaks, and I have to be very careful, which means that when I got my degree, I basically got a degree in a job that I could never do because of a disability that I could never get rid of. You know, when we found out that I had brain damage and that I would never recover, it was like... So I do have a degree. I have a degree in architecture, effectively, but it's not a degree that I can ever actually use because I cannot work in the area that I did. So after that, I've always been interested in sewing. Sewing has been like my main hobby since I was a kid. When I realized I couldn't do that, I've just been doing lots of sewing and art, and I've just practiced. I've just really practiced hard. I have no official training in sewing, embroidery, or art, really. I did life drawing for a couple years. And I do think that was really helpful, but outside of 2 years of life drawing, I don't have any artistic background. just practice. Just a lot of practice in my own time. And YouTube. A lot of YouTube. A lot of watching YouTube. So much YouTube. Oh my god. Should I buy Jelly Mouse? You don't need to, because I got this through the Starlight Foundation. Quick, where the go, you'll never tell. You're a nerd. Good morning. Welcome on in. I jumped in by Yuri's stream. Nice song in the background. Oh, well, I work on game dev. Hell yeah. I've not been able to work on personal projects nearly as much as I wanted since I got this job. Too little energy to go around, which is very fair. Very, very fair. Also, Jelly, I heard, because you're doing, is it Arty's Dinosaurs, right? Or something along those lines? I could be wrong, but right? Ah, dear. Live drawing is good. It is. It's really good. Also, it's just fun. Yeah. Do you design your dream home? When I was little, I used to design my dream home all the time. And the one thing, Cena, that it always had was a hedge maze. I don't know why. My parents have shown me these drawings that I did as a kid. Every single time I'd draw my dream house, it would have the most obnoxious hedge maze to the front door. And it wouldn't matter what the house looked like. I was just desperate, apparently, to have a hedge maze. So I have designed a lot of in-detailed hedge mazes, more than houses, I would even say, as a kid. Like, I was just, let me get a hedge maze in there. It's not a proper house unless it's got a hedge maze. Oh dear, that's what you want. I did. They were very good with that. They were. I never entered, I swear, because I would have realized if I'd done that. But no, but I still won, and I'm very pleased. It's very heckin' kind. I can draw from copying an image, but drawing from imagination is what I really struggle with. I'm actually the same. So we had a discussion about that on stream the other day, Voodoo, which you're welcome to pitch in now. Because if you're someone like me, I have terrible mental imagery for things that I want. So the way that I work things out is I want a tree. Draw a tree. And I've got like references all over of trees that I've drawn previously until I'm happy with how it looks. It just means it takes a little bit longer. There's positives and negatives, right? I think personally, as someone who has also struggled with that as part of art, because I've really struggled to come up with mental images of things. As someone who also struggles with that, I have found continuously drawing common things like trees until you find a way that you enjoy drawing trees has been a real help. And again, I do a drawing every single day, and I have done a drawing every single day for over a year, like about a year and a half at this point. And having that kind of like consistently, well, here's me drawing a realistic tree with a reference. Here's me drawing a tree from a video game. Here's me merging the bits that I like from both. Here's me taking a bit of that. None of it's happening on here. All of it's happening on paper. And that's how I've got around it. Because again, yeah, there's like a whole group of us who really struggle with mental imagery when it comes to like imagining the things we want to do. And personally, everyone's different when it comes to stuff like this, but personally, I find you just have to keep drawing. Like, if you can't imagine things, get it on paper. For me, the whole of last year, I threw away every single piece I did. Every single piece was thrown away. And that was kind of part of the process, was because I wasn't going to like a lot of it. A lot of it was going to look bad. A lot of it was going to look like it shouldn't do, like it wasn't good. So I threw away every single piece, and by having that freedom to throw those pieces away, I didn't feel so bad about the fact that I was making art that I didn't like. But now, you know, for me, you can see I draw trees like this. Here is a reference of me drawing trees. It's so much easier because I can now reference myself because I finally found an art style that I enjoy drawing in. It just takes a lot longer when you can't imagine it first. Yeah. But it's not like it's impossible. You know, I've heard people coming in and saying that if you can't imagine stuff that it's completely impossible to do, and it's like, it's not. It just takes a long time. It takes a really long time and a lot of practice, and you have to be passionate about it because you're having to push through really rough times. But you can definitely do it. It's just difficult. I mean, but again, I've never been good at art, and I think you talk about this as an adult, people are like, oh, I bet you were always good at art. I bet that was always something you had a knack. It was my worst subject in school, consistently. I wanted to be creative, but I really struggled. My best subjects were math, hence looking at going into architecture where it's all numbers. I was really good at remembering numbers, I was really good at doing all of that, and I was really bad at art. It's only through forcing practice, because I think as well, especially, so I'm autistic, I think we've talked. I got diagnosed very young as well, which is unusual for women, but I present like a man. So I got diagnosed very young. We realized it was very, very early on. I had a lot of real strong communication issues when I was little, which is, I'm gonna say, as an inside joke, we say it all the time here. The reason I'm so chatty now is because I didn't talk for so long, and because I was struggling for so long. I couldn't communicate for so long. So that's why I'm making up for lost time, you know, because I'm talking constantly now. But yeah, no, I in many ways, when we found out that I was also good at math and also good at remembering numbers, it was like, oh, naturally this is the path that this kid is going to go. They're going to go down a path where they're doing math because they're good at math and they're good at remembering numbers and they're stereotypically autistic and they're all this kind of stuff. They'll do great. And when I found out that people were like talking about me like that, it made me want to get really good at art. But art is not something that I was naturally good at, nor that I had any natural inclination for. Maths I did, but not art. And so I've really pushed myself my entire life to get to becoming like an average artist. But again, I've said before, I live off spite. When people tell me that there's something I can't do, that's what I want to do more than anything else. And I wasn't good at art. I didn't have good imagination, and I wasn't good at all that kind of stuff. But now I am. And it just took a lot of practice and being like, yeah, now I'm winning animation competitions. Now I'm doing chroma core. I was a cosplayer at TwitchCon. You know, now I'm doing all this creative stuff. Screw you, school teachers. So yeah, it just took a lot of practice. Oh dear. Well, that's why I also don't like the whole, like, when people say, oh, you know, you're good at it because you're autistic or something like that. There must be that reason. It's like, I'm good at maths. Always wanted a tree house. Secret attic. Secret attic was one for me too. Yes. Secret attic, hedge maze. I would probably have loved a tree house. Oh dear. Found drawing stuff upside down. Nice. Yeah, trees also DRK, welcome on in. Constructing stuff is very useful and important. And pros and people who, oh, sorry, I'm just catching up now. I might be a bit behind. You learn into their lives through practice. I've tried getting Feathered to draw me a tattoo design, but she keeps refusing, saying her work is not good enough. Feathered has that imposter syndrome hardcore, and they don't deserve it because they're so good. So you don't, opposite, I can play a whole movie before I can draw stuff. Yeah, see? I wish I sometimes had a brain like that. But at the same point, having a brain like I have means I don't have the, oh, I can't get what I want on paper. I don't know what I want. We'll just go for it. I find certain techniques like perspective come very natural to my mathematically random auto brain. But trying to draw cute and expressive things, I still struggle. Blaffle! Anime! I respect that a lot. Yeah, I really forced my way through it through spite. I just watched your reaction. Webcomic when? Webcomic when we hit partner, Blaffle. Like, actually, that's if we hit partner before Boobtober, I'll write the whole webcomic. I'll do it. I've written the story. I'd have to, like, actually draw the thing, but I'll do it. Oh, not your webcomic. That's fair. I understand. But anime webcomic when? Very true. Oh dear. I do abstract art mostly. I love your abstract art. I think it's so good because I don't have the right look and it's more approachable for me having these video eyes. I love yours though. I think your lines are really, really nice. I love the colors you use. I love the empty. I really like. I mean, you kind of saw us reacting to it, but I really enjoyed it. Another statistic. It's always scary at how good he's become with computers. He's self-taught. Yeah. I mean, if there's a passionate thing, then, I mean, again, I presented very, like, if my passion had not been sewing, if it had been trains, we probably would have noticed even earlier. Because I've liked sewing and embroidery and beading and sequinning and all that since I was like 7, 6, maybe younger. As early as I was allowed to have a needle, I have been interested. And then it's just never changed. I've never had burnout from it. I've never been burnt out on embroidery. I've never been burnt out on sewing. I've never had any of that. I have a very, 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 very stereotypical brain. And I just like one thing and it's never changed. So, oh no, embroidering 16 hours a day for 3 weeks, what a shame. The only problem I have is, you don't think about it, but the embroidery, when we're doing too much of it, it can cause like repetitive strain and stuff. So I do have to be more careful of how often I'm doing it, because I want to be able to do this until I'm like a little old lady. But yeah. There's a lot of positives and negatives about different brains, but yeah, then the positives are, I'm pretty good at doing the same thing forever. Give me some money and make it happen. You could have like a donation bar or something like that on stream. Maybe anime. Maybe. And then like if you hit the goal or whatever, you release a page. Maybe 2 pages if you hit your goal, depending on how high the goal is. You could be like, oh, if we hit this goal, I'll make a page. And that way people would have a very active way of trying to, you know, support your webcomic, but also encourage you if you wanted to keep doing it. It's like, oh yeah, you know, say if you said, if we hit 20 quid a stream, I'll do maybe 1 page, you know? So for every stream you hit 20 quid, you do a page. And that way, if you keep it at something low, you wouldn't have to do too much. But you could see like people actively supporting you. I don't know. It's an idea. You don't have to do it. That's just an option. If you're looking for support for it, there are ways. I'm sure people would be interested in helping. Or you could do more long-term ones, like when we hit a certain higher amount, then I'll do a page instead of having to do it every single stream. Because I guess, especially with your education and stuff, it might be a bit overwhelming with the amount that you're already doing. I like trying new hoblins. Hoblins? Help. I like speaking the English language. I like trying new hobbies. The problem is I had to get bored very easily or challenge me for a bit, but then that's the bit that I've been very lucky with my brain. I've never had that. Ever. I've never wanted to change. If anything, I get upset at the idea of sometimes expanding my skills. I only ever want to do one thing. Cosplay has been a really good one, to be fair, because it incorporates a lot of other skills. But if we're being honest, my cosplays are mainly sewing, beading, sequinning, and embroidery. I really haven't expanded out of that too much, and I kind of doubt that I ever will that much. The most I could imagine is maybe I'll make my own beads. You know, out of necessity, I might do some stuff, but it wouldn't so much be out of an enjoyment, whereas those core ones are my enjoyment. They are the things that I like. I like art, I like this, I like goblins, but it doesn't really change, which is nice in some ways because I'm not, you know, I have friends that have ADHD? I'm sorry, if I mispronounce things, just yell at me, it's fine. But they have ADHD and autism. And for them, they have that big, like, you know, I can't work on one thing. I'm so passionate, but I have to keep changing. And then I put something down, then I do something else. And it's like, I still have that level of passion, but not for just one thing. It changes constantly. And I've never had that. But there's a few friends that I have that do have that. And it's very difficult because it means that, you know, you can't force passion for something if it's gone, you know? But it's upsetting because it feels like they're constantly like trying new things and nothing's ever sticking for super long. And so I think that can be really difficult. Even if you end up cycling back to it eventually, that's not something personally I can relate to. It's why I've always been quite careful of being like, I don't have ADHD. I probably never will. I don't think. Because I don't have that problem that certain people do. Oh my god! Wow! Wait a minute, did we have a raid as well? Oh my god, has everything happened at once? Fight! 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 Flaffle, thank you for fighting me for 8 months! Can you believe we've been fighting for a whole 8 months? You have that switching between other things. A few of my mates do. And again, it seems like it's like a co thing when you have more than one thing going on at once and it makes it very difficult. I'm vanilla. I'm vanilla autistic, just one. I have nothing else going on in here. I like one thing and I've never changed. Oh dear, very vanilla. Cthulhu! How was your stream? Wait, actually I don't need to do that. I can do the Cthulhu shout out, the special Cthulhu one. Although I will do you the big shout out as well. How was your stream and what did you get up to today? I hope you had a good one. Oh, come on, spell. Come on. Oh, it's because it's Lil Cthulhu. Oh, okay, my bad. I was like, come on, spell Cthulhu for me. I can't spell it myself. Oh dear. Hell yeah. Remember that I didn't do shout? Yeah, we were actually just about to do a Discord art share. We've just been catching up on chat. I've been a bit behind. Oh dear. How was your stream? I hope it was good. For anyone popping in for the first time, hello, hi, my name is Deli. We are making an animation. We've actually just finished making a comic and we're just doing some of the behind the scenes stuff right now. We're literally working on a tree. It's very simple right now. We're getting there. I've just been showing some of the art. We're doing some of the plans we have and then like how the whole piece will eventually merge together. We're doing a little bit of all that. We've got a lot of things going on here and I need to catch up on chat. But how was your stream? I hope you had a good one. We're promoting your path to part. Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. I get anyone who's coming with the raid, if you're happy to refresh, get the whatchamacallit, the raid out of your URL, I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, don't forget to refresh. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you're happy to. Ah dear. I have the combo. Yeah, if you have, but I don't have the diagnosis. Ah, I see. That's fair. Like, again, it takes a long time to get diagnosed. It's hard. I'm very lucky I was a kid. So I had everything done nice and young, but not everyone has that. I want to do everything. I'll get very intensely in particular interest for a month or two, pull 10-hour hyperfocus sessions. Yeah, and then I just won't be able to concentrate on it anymore. Yeah, fun fact, you're more likely to have ADHD and autism than just having ADHD. Solo, good morning, welcome on in. Oh dear, yeah, I am very much I've just liked one thing my whole life, and again, if it had been trains, it'd be easier for people to see it, but it's sewing. I'm very close to being a full stereotype, but nah, just sewing instead. I was doing a sketch and then some cross stitch, heckin' lovely. Oh dear, put a whip. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're just about to do the Discord art share, so just in time. It makes work difficult, but working as a technical artist on a small game dev company is actually perfect for me since there's many different things you can work on. I think that's the thing, is finding a way to work around your brain, right? And make sure that you're all happy together. Oh dear, I wish I was good at everything to make money for everything and keep doing everything. I mean, you are really good at everything. What do you mean? You're great at everything you do, Blackwell. You're fantastic. I've seen you. I've seen you on stream. You're amazing. I got diagnosed. Excuse me. I got diagnosed with enough months of trying to decide to keep my sleep was too irregular to give me ADHD meds. I'm sorry to hear that. I obviously for me, you don't take meds for autism. You get by. I'll be honest, when people respect you, it's much easier to get by. And I feel very respected here. Otherwise you wouldn't feel like you. I could say it here in Twitch, but it's like, also, people kind of know. I think when you say you've done one thing your entire life, never experienced burnout, and never had any want to change, it's maybe, it's unusual. You'd think there might be something going on there. Oh yeah, like I've been doing one thing for my entire life, 10 hours a day, and I've never wanted to change, and I never want to. I want to do the same thing for the rest of my life. I'll be happy if I can spend the next 50 years doing exactly the same thing as I'm doing now. I just want to get better at it, that'd be nice. I'd like to get better at it. I'd like to keep improving. I just have ADD and autism is have ADD and autism and it is it is diagnosed. Oh sorry, there's one diagnosed and there's one combination. Oh, I see. Did Jelly say nice things? I'm confused. It's so that I can catch you off guard for the next time we're fighting. Because I'll be like, oh, but Jelly was nice to me, and then I'll be like, poof. That depends on other autistic people. It is, because otherwise you assume your own experience is everyone's experience, and it's just not. For me, I had that problem a few times when I was younger, because I'd meet other people who were also diagnosed as autistic, and I'd realize we wouldn't get along at all. You'd think, right? Because we both have the same diagnosis, we might be really similar. I'm very touch adverse, and a lot of autistic people are very clingy. And so, because you can have be both ends of it, for me, when people were touching me, I'd be like, what the hell? I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd get it. Why are you touching me? But it's because it's opposite. It's opposite ends. And so, yeah, it's very important to be friends with people with similar diagnosis so you can see how different they are and be like, oh yeah, your own experience is only one very, very small smidgen in the world of experiences. And just because you have the same diagnosis as someone does not mean you'll get along with them, does not mean you're going to be compatible. And it's important to meet other people so you can find people you are compatible with and people that you're not. I think also it's very easy, especially with a lot of stereotypes, to box yourself into a specific box, especially if you're like me and you're very stereotypical presenting, to be like, oh yeah, that's it, that's all there is to me. If I'm good at something, it's because I'm autistic. If I'm bad at something, it's because I'm autistic. That's it. And it's like that really boxes you into a very specific mindset, which isn't really good for your growth as a human being. Like, you might have certain struggles because of one, and you might find certain things easier because of another, but it's like, I'm a normal human being with just a few bits and bobs that make me a little different, and I don't like the idea. I don't like being boxed that much, to be honest, unless it's Blapple and then we're boxing constantly. I hate being touched and necessarily everyone after it. I just need people to give permission first, basically ask first. I still feel weird about, because of that, so many people big difference and small. After diagnosis as a symptom cluster, and they decide to draw a line around. Yeah, amen. I'm a different person. Door goblins. Yeah, we've been doing goblins. I should say, for the people that came in the raid, if you're curious and you want to catch up to date with what we're about to be doing, I actually wrote a comic for the goblins, which means you can catch up really, really easily. It's only 20 pages, it's very, very short. It's predominantly art as well, there's a lot less text, so you can catch up nice and easily because we are doing the resurrection scene animated. Anything that's suspected autism is struggling to get into psychology and terrified of being tested at almost 30. I think if you can, it's tricky, right? It's really, really tricky. If you already have diagnosed ADHD, it will make it a little easy though, because they'll be looking for ADHD, not just autism, because sometimes the symptoms of ADHD can overlap with the symptoms of autism to make it seem like you don't have autism. It can make it really, really difficult. But if you've already got the ADHD diagnosis, that should actually play for your favor, in that they already know that there are going to be some inconsistencies and confusing parts as part of your diagnosis, because they are two things that really clash a lot. So yeah, if anything, hopefully you'd actually be in a good position if you went. And again, it's all confidential. If you have a doctor you don't like, you can move doctor, and if it's something you think would genuinely help you, it's worth it. But only if you think it's genuinely going to help you. If you don't think it's going to help you, and it's going to cause you a lot of stress, it's up to you, really, isn't it? It's up to you. It's up to you, completely. Within your ball, in your court. Oh dear, I'm not curious. Wow, Blapple. I'm incredibly offended, but not surprised. I just have another project I'll be doing this summer vacation, make a digital manga! Very heckin' exciting. Is that based on the one you showed us yesterday, or is that completely different? I had some people come to my therapy and go, please don't fix me because at least I like who I am, and changing that scares me, but also hear all my troubles. Everyone's different, everyone approaching different ways. As long as it's within your own ballpark and what you want to have happen, I think it's fine. For me, I was very, very young. I got past these things very early. It's a lot of people would say that it's lucky. It's a mixture of lucky and unlucky, I think. It's lucky because I presented so much like a man. It's unlucky because it meant that, you know, although I got support at a young age, there's a lot of stigmas around people like me. And it did cause some problems in school and stuff like that just because people knew and could put a name to it. So it's lucky, unlucky. But as an adult, I'm very glad that I got diagnosed because it helped me through school. It got me the extra support. And as an adult, it gives me, hey, if you're going to hug me, you have to let me know first, or you have to ask me, because if you just go for it, I'm not going to respond well. And it gives me that kind of barrier of being like, there is a reason why I struggle with this. And sometimes people need a reason to respect what you want. It shouldn't be like that, but it is like that. Sometimes you need a reason. And me being like, I'm autistic, if you hug me without telling you, I might bite you. Like, don't do it. And it won't be sexy. I'll draw blood. Or I might throw up on you. You just don't know. I could bite you and then I could throw up into your wound. Don't do it. Just ask me first, okay? Chill. Oh, dear. And like the autistic, but having the other diagnosis won't help me in life. Yeah, it's like, it's whatever makes you feel happy and gets you through it. If you need the support in the workplace. For me, because I was in school, the problem I was having, right, is when you're a kid, and you know, you're going on school trips or stuff like that, people will grab your hand, walk you across the road, other kids will touch you, and I would have a full meltdown every single time, which would leave me unable to speak for long periods of time. I felt so scared to go and do anything because I just didn't want people touching me. But as a kid, no one means any harm. But if you're walking into the road, they're going to grab you to pull you back, right? And then I'm going to break down because you've grabbed me to pull me back and I haven't given permission for you to touch me. And it's a really difficult one with kids like that, because when it's not just a, oh, don't touch me. It's a, I will scream. I will throw myself to the floor and I will scratch off any area you touch me to the point where I am bleeding. It was awful, and it was really, really rough until you get it. And so I needed a diagnosis because I was hurting myself to the extremes, and no one could understand why and why this child was doing stuff like that, because it was so dramatic. But it's because I had very, very stereotypical autism that I managed to get a really early diagnosis, and it was very easy. I had very self-aggressive stims. And I would do it regularly. I really was very touch adverse. I couldn't speak, I couldn't explain myself, so I was basically nonverbal. There are some things about my diagnosis that do make me a little unhappy to this day, because I think with support I get by just as well as anybody else does. But the problem is, when you're a kid, nobody means any harm, nobody means to hurt you, no one's trying to upset you. That's not the vibe. But because if you don't understand, it's very hard. And so I needed that diagnosis so that I was respected in school, so I was respected at home. It was very important to me. But that's not for everyone. Not everyone has those same issues that I have. And again, that's why it's important to meet other autistic people. Because, you know, you meet someone like me, and I don't think anyone would have ever assumed that I was that struggling to that extent when I was younger. Because you meet me now and it's like, oh yeah, with proper boundaries and respect, I get by just fine. Never had a problem. But yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's a very tricky one. I think as well, self-destructive stimming is very uncomfortable as a topic. And a lot of people, you see, like, that's the only self-destructive stim out there. It's not. It's not. It's very much not. There's a lot of very, very self-destructive stims, and it's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate, and it means that, again, if you only meet one person, you've only met one person. I am a very different person. I'm very loud. I'm very talkative. I'm very chatty these days. I'm very happy as well. But yes, it's tricky. It's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky. It's a very tricky one. All right, let me catch up, and then we're going to do the Discord art share, because it's about heckin' time. Oh, dear. Moon making continued. Sorry, hell yeah, anime. Oh, that's so exciting. Students are trying to graduate, so you have 2 visits across the year. Nice. I've got diamonds of 31, so it's not out of the question. Depends on the click, though. And again, it's whether you think it's going to be useful to you. That said, no seems like it's particularly useful. Yeah, like, unless you're a kid and you need it, like I did, a lot of the times as an adult, it's not something that you can, again, there's no medication for it. You know, it can help you put a name to things. And again, sometimes that can get you more respect with people, and it shouldn't be like that, but it kind of is. But for kids like me, who, if you touched me, I would try and rip my own arm off, it would be a problem, and stuff like that. And then at those points, you do need one, because you need to give that diagnosis to the school to make sure that they're doing things that are not going to make you self-destructive. So there are times where you do need an autism diagnosis. I did. But again, that was as a kid. As an adult, if you don't listen to me, I'm just going to leave. I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna get out of there. Not worth my time, actually. Ask first. Yeah, you gotta ask first. I'm not sure about ADHD. It's quite pretty hard. I think as well, though, scores can be really difficult, especially if you're someone who also has ADHD, because again, a lot of the stuff that you'll be asked for about autism will be in direct contradiction to ADHD. It's very hard. It's very hard. Ah, dear. Just be a peace of mind. Yeah, if whatever makes you happy, whatever can make you the happiest long term, that's going to be what's most important. 100%. You only live once. I know YOLO is not a thing people say anymore, but you really do only live once. And it's really important to prioritize your own happiness, and whatever is going to make you happy, that's the right decision for you. As you're not hurting anyone else with that kind of decision. It's got to be to you personally. Dear. I beg to differ with trying to hurt. Oh, okay, fair enough. I think that the diagnosis early on being needed is very tender. Like, why do you care if we touch you instead of this child? Well, yes, and I do get that, but I am going to give you some specific examples of like where this was becoming a problem. Child walks out in front of car. Do you grab the child, or no, that child doesn't like being touched, we'll have to find a way around it? Or do you have to have a full discussion on what is a way that you can touch this child that might be difficult, because you have to get them out of the way of the car, And when you're a kid, there are a lot of times where, unfortunately, kids don't have the most danger sense, and they'll do things that will actively put them in danger. I've had this problem since I was walking, so it's like there were times where you would need to do something, and you would have to touch me without getting direct permission, and it does happen with children. And there had to be a way around it. And again, that's something that we had to get a diagnosis for, so that we could pass that on to the school, so they had that training and could know what to do. And again, at those times, not all the time, of course, a lot of the times with kids, people do just touch them aggressively and it's not fair. But there are times where it will just be a safety thing. And at those points, proper training is necessary. And yeah, getting that diagnosis, I can mean that I have people that are trained around me. And that means that I have a happier experience in school. Yeah. I'd rather the child had a breakdown, like, exactly, exactly, Cthulhu. And there are things you can do, and like, again, it's just about setting boundaries, about getting training to the teachers so they know those kind of things. It's important, and it's why sometimes getting a diagnosis can be very helpful for young people. It also meant that I could continue at a school where I already had friends and I already knew people, rather than having to be transferred anywhere else, which was really, again, was important. For someone who doesn't like change, that's kind of important. Growing up married around those social cues, but I can't tell that was because of emotional physical pain. It's tricky, and again, like, that's only something that might be easier for you to work out by talking to a professional. Like, as much as I wish I could help everyone here, I can just do stupid goblin things. That's about it. That's all I could do. I can do silly goblin things, and that's about it. Maybe some sewing, but if that's something that will give you some peace and closure from, it is worth seeking those answers out. But again, that's a very personal decision about whether or not that will give you peace and closure. I'm afraid I can't help you much, but good luck. Whatever you decide to do, you have the best of luck from us. So be transmass. Should we go have a look? Okay, we're changing the subject, because I don't want other people's art to be talked over. If you're typing a message, do not enter it. Get rid of it. We're changing the subject because it is time to celebrate some of the other artists in this community, and I would not want them to get talked over. So... Are you ready to art? It is time to art. And if anybody posts more stuff in the community after that, I will just delete it, because I don't want artists in this community to feel talked over. Oh, bless you. Sorry, Lee. Listen, it's stream lag. I thought one person might catch it. Don't worry. It's art, Chappie. Speaking of art, welcome on in. We're gonna be doing this because we're gonna be focusing on some of the art that's been posted in this community. First of all, by Lenny, and look how cute. Look at this little chappie. I really love the frills actually around the neck and around the hands, because with the bells on the end, I don't know if it's intentional or like a clownish gesterish vibe, but with the bells on the end of the ears and then like the ruffles around the neck, they kind of give that kind of like almost like a little pastel jester, but a rabbit. It's very heckin' cute. It's very, very heckin' cute. Oh, it's so cute. And I love that. Looks a bit like Shifty. Yeah, it's like the purple with the white and the pink. And then the little ones in the end. Well, you know the pattern? You have the pattern? Oh my god. I know Lenny's been doing more stuff on Twitch recently when it comes to crochet, and I absolutely love it. It's so heckin' nice. You want to get it too? Well, now you can see what it looks like when someone's done it. And it looks, I think personally, it looks really, really good. I think that's really, really impressive. Then again, I think all crochet is pretty impressive, to be honest. I think it's all pretty good. I'm just going to move that there slightly so we have our pictures being centralized. There we go. And then if we nip across to general crafts, we have, oh wait, that was yesterday. I'm careful about posting stuff when they're live, but we have the, oh my god, is this the new big piece you were talking about? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it's upside down. I see that because yeah, it's the dragon, but it's upside down. Oh, it's the FNAF bunny one. Oh, is it? That's very cute. That's very cute. Oh, dude, this is huge. Once again, you're still, I can see as well, you got your work in progress on the Game of Thrones one, which is still very, very impressive. Very, very big. This is, by the way, diamond painting. We have people in the community who are doing diamond painting, and it's a lot of very, very small things stacked next to each other to make a big shiny thing. It's very hecking nice. This looks really, really good. Really, really good. I'm very excited to see how this looks with all the blues and the silvers in there. I bet that's going to look really, really nice diamond painted. And then if we go into ideas and inspiration, ooh, okay. Oh, Stream Inc. 2024. Wait, are you doing Stream Inc? Wait, is anyone else doing this kind of thing right now? I didn't realize that had already started. Is anyone else doing Stream Inc. in here? And doing the doodles? I am. Oh, that's really cool. What is streaming? I believe streaming is a daily art challenge, kind of similar to Inktober, Chromacore, stuff like that. If I could be wrong, they are doing a chill doodle one for May. I see. So it's like a doodle a day during May. Oh my god, that's really hecking nice. Wait, 2 seconds. Sorry, has something gone wrong here? Have we had a bit of an error? A small error here? No, it seems like it's fine. It seems like it's fine. Kind of like into, yeah, I think it's kind of like that vibe, but like maybe with slightly different prompts and stuff like that. So you do like a little thing each day. I didn't realize that was going on. I thought Stream Inc. was later in the year as well. But if they're doing a doodle one for May, that's really cool. Y'all gonna make me try a doodle one today? Yeah. Wait, where's is the prompt today? Day 1 is butterfly. Actually, if I can find Stream Inc. 2 seconds. I'm just gonna do a quick Google to see if I can find it. Stream Inc. There we go. If I do doodle. Oh, no, maybe if I go to the Stream Inc. card. Oh, here we go. Let me get this link for you. So this is the card, but it shows you all of the different prompts for each day, so you can have a little look at them in advance if you'd like it. I'm just going to post it underneath in the Discord here, so it will be next to that. So if you want the Stream Inc. card and you want the information, you can go and have a little look through it. Oh, yeah, there we go. So I can see that, yeah, butterfly, and then I can see the rest of them as well. I won't say them in case anyone's trying to keep it secret, but if you want to go have a look. So it's just to do a little doodle away in May. Doodle away in May. That's heckin' nice. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us, Cthulhu. Predominantly streamers though, so yeah, it's more of a streaming thing. A bit stuck in waiting mode, and maybe doodling would help a little bit. Yeah, like maybe give it a go. I mean, I think as well, when you're doing things casually, you don't have to worry about doing one every single day. If there's a day where you're a bit busy and you're like, I just don't fancy doing it, there's no pressure. You do it if and when you fancy. If we have a little look at art. Ooh, wait. Oh, wait a minute. That's so. Oh my god, hell yeah. I wanted to post more of my old art. This is your older art? I guess, yeah, because you do more digital art these days, don't you? That's so clean, Anime. With the 4 wings as well. That's such a complicated shape. And that's so nice. Oh my god. Oh dear. Well, it's a little late, but you have posted. I can see it. I've been focused on quilts recently. I've stopped doing other things. So I just want to go back into getting into it. That's very fair. These are from... See, I can see, like, because obviously you have, like, a lot of the building lines and stuff like that. The 4 wings you're doing very well with. 4 wings is difficult. That's hard. But, yeah. I mean, I do love seeing your older art anyway. These are very well done. Again, like, when you're doing... That looks like you've outlined it in pen, which would have meant as well that you wouldn't have had a second shot if that hadn't looked good. Very brave, and very cool to see. I think if we nip into live stream chat, there we go. Not finished, but my first dragon scale dice bag. Never done this type of stitch before, and I'm really happy. Oh, you're doing one of the scale stitches. I want to give this a go at some point. I've seen a few of the people in this community doing scale stitching, and I think it's really, really nice. I drew that one in pen when I was hiking. Oh my god, so nice. I love scale stitches. They look so cool. They really do. I really, really like them. This looks really, really nice so far, Teresa. It looks like you've done a really good job. I actually really like the color you've picked as well, like a really lovely, like, bottleish green. Really nice. Oh dear. But yeah, no, that's really cool. That's really cool. It's hard at first, but I'm getting the knack of it. You're getting into a rhythm of it. They do look really pretty. Scaling, they looks really nice. The pen drawers are also really amazing. The Tureju was one that I saw. Hell yeah, that's really, really cool. Everything. It's all looking really good, guys. I don't know what to say. It looks fantastic. It looks like you're all doing a lot of really cool stuff. Now, I don't want to bring down the mood at all here. I've got an aura popping in, which means that I am probably about to have a very early migraine, unfortunately. Which... I noticed it, to be honest, before we did the art share, which is why I wanted to get to the art share quickly, just in case. I don't really want to do a 2-hour stream as the first one towards partner, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this might be it. This might be it for me, guys. I think I'm out. I can feel it pretty strong, and it's coming on quite quickly. Unfortunately, this is exactly what we mean when we say we shouldn't be doing too long staring at a screen, because it does be giving me migraines. Even to this day. No more partner. Yeah, I have to give up. Good. We did our best. We tried. It's okay, it's only day one. I was gonna do a makeup stream today for goddamn Monday, but no, my eye is starting to go, and I'm feeling it, and if I'm feeling it this quickly, that means I probably won't make it to the next Discord art share, which means we'll probably have to leave it there. I'm so sorry for doing such a short stream today, genuinely. It's not my intention to go for this short. I want to go longer. I want to keep going. We're meant to be doing a push for partner, and I'm having to leave because I've got a goddamn migraine. Oh, you're studying? No, you're fine. Thank you so much. Sorry, Mystic. I really appreciate it. We're actually just about to raid because I've unfortunately become under the weather very early into stream today, which is just typical. I swear, it's always like this. The first day you have something you're excited for, and it's like, nah, go lie down. Bastard. So, but stick around. I will raid you into someone sweet. I am glad we did have this stream, to be honest, to like just explain the next, you know, what we're going to be doing next, and also talk a little bit about what pushing for partner is and get all of that out there. So I'm still really glad we had this stream, even if it was not as long as I wanted it to be, because it meant that we could still do all of the explanations and behind the scenes and stuff like that. All right, in the meantime though, shall we do a little bit of a very early raid actually? Let me just have a little look who's on this early, because I normally would never raid about this time. Who streams on a Wednesday this time? Because I would not normally be here. Interesting. Well, I mean, is anyone making anything cool that I don't already know who is speaking a language I can put to them? Oh, there's some really cool stuff, but I always feel awkward raiding into someone who isn't speaking English just because I feel like people won't be able to talk. I also don't want to force them to talk in a language that they don't want to talk about. Do you know Nooks? I'll Google them. I don't think I know Nooks. Don't worry, either way it was good for me because the first one. Oh, first one's back to the Discord announcement. Thank you. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you for popping by. Dice Goblins Unite. Oh, hell yeah. Well, they've got goblins in the title, and that we have a low bar of entry. They are making dice. All right, we have a Blapple suggestion. I've never met them before. We're all gonna be very sweet beans because we've got to make a good first impression. We're right there. Thank you so much, everyone who lurked us. Oh, thank you for the save as well. You're damn right I should save. Thank you so much, everyone, for lurking for the first stream. And thank you for everyone listening while I explain. I know a lot of you are being very patient with me because you already know what a partner push is, but it's always worth explaining it for anyone a bit newer here. So massive thank you to everyone who did. Thank you for the party as well. Thank you so much for everyone who did push through that with us. I really appreciate it. You know them from Kells? Oh, nice. I have not met them before. Maybe because they stream earlier. Exciting. It's always exciting to meet a new person. We'll probably do more tomorrow. In fact, if anything, if I can get the tree ready for starting embroidery, maybe we'll do some tree embroidery tomorrow and actually get stuff going, because then we'll have an example of what things will actually look like. Take care, everyone. Thank you And if you're into YouTube, thank you so much for helping me get my viewers up.